Dane win. For season 94-95, the Group 1 action began as usual at Moonee Valley on August the 13th, with the running of the Group 1 Manikato Stakes at Wait for Age. Inside the 600, Sequalo ahead in front. On the outside, Hariba. They're burnt off now. Cloggett at third, and here's Primacy putting in a run quickly. A length further back, Spanish Mix running to fifth from Street Ruffian, Alanon. King Marauding, Palace Range, Shaminda first, Star of a Maple. Up before the bend, 350 out. Sequalo just in front. On the outside, Hariba now. Primacy further out with Spanish Mix. They're racing quickly to Sequalo. Hariba's gone. They turn, and Spanish Mix and Primacy hit the front from Sequalo. Then a gap to Palace Rain. Out in the centre, though, it's Spanish Mix in front from Primacy and Sequalo, then Shaminda Fur, but Spanish Mix is starting to come away, and the mare's too good. Spanish Mix is going to win the Manikato 2.5. Second Primacy, I think Shaminda Fur got third, the bolter.
Eyes awaited, but a soft win today. Easing out from 12s to 20, Spanish Mix scoring well. Primacy a handy first up run. Shaminda Fur, crowned horse of the year, Mahogany, came back to racing with a magnificent win in the Liston Stakes at Sandown today. The 4-year-old has been set. He was back in action in the Liston Stakes. The dual derby winner, the first to chase after tearaway leader State Taj.
Outside, State Taj about 2 lengths. Mahogany's got him, I reckon. Hall had a look over his shoulder. State Taj grabbed by Mahogany in the last 100. Here's the champion racing away now. Mahogany first up. It'll be a brilliant win. And he draws away Mahogany to win it by 2 lengths to State Taj. Credit account third.
A Wait for Age campaign into the Cox Plate awaits Mahogany now that he's over the first hurdle of the spring. His winter laid a rare gift, acceleration at the top level.
He'll make a marvellous Wait for Age horse. He just possesses that. That's every good Wait for Age horse has got to have that. If they haven't got acceleration, that brilliant pace for maybe 400 metres, then they'll never make a top Wait for Age horse. But this horse, you know, out in his own in that area.
He is going to the line.
Mahogany has now won 13 of 21 starts. He ran a dazzling last 800 metres to win. State Taj.
St Covert started a short price favourite in the $250,000 Ascot Vale Stakes.
Tackled by Cannibal King in the centre. St Covert is down the outside, and Blevick is joining him with a good runner. And over on the inside behind them is Racer's Edge. Now Cannibal King is the leader. St Covert can't go on at the moment. Racer's Edge finishing very strongly in the centre. Racer's Edge has taken the lead, and Racer's Edge races home to win the Ascot Vale ahead of either Blevick or Cannibal King.
It's the St Covert not going on at the moment. It's Cannibal King in front of St Covert, and Blevick on the outside is coming home. Racer's Edge is getting a split between them. Racer's Edge grabs the lead. Bolts away. Racer's Edge brilliantly by 2 lengths.
The former David Hayes trained Racer's Edge down the Hayes Colts, Blevick and hot favourite St Covert, who struggled.
Racer's Edge got the money at 6 to 1. Blevick second at 10s. Cannibal King 8 to 1.
Sydney naturally makes.
For Bobby Lewis, Poetic King was 5 to 4 favourite, but disappointed as Hariba rebuilt his reputation.
Hariba went to the lead from Poetic King, who didn't find much. Sequalo's after Hariba. Sequalo racing to Hariba with about 100 metres to go. They settle down to fight it out. Hariba drawing clear in the last bit. Hariba races clear of Sequalo and Poetic King, and Hariba
Might have to go there before you go to the...
who didn't find much. Sequalo's after Hariba. Sequalo racing to Hariba with about 100 metres to go. They settle down to fight it out. Hariba drawing clear in the last bit. Hariba races clear of Sequalo and Poetic King, and Hariba
Might have to go... And did you think that Poetic King, Max, could possibly be beaten in the Bobby Lewis yesterday?
No, I thought Poetic King was a good thing, but then again, I thought Poetic King would be ridden quietly back in the field. I didn't think he'd be up there doing the bullocking for speed under 57. The section showed that Poetic... Certainly Hariba and Sequalo showed that last start when they had a nice battle for the lead and wilted. But there he is, like Poetic King. He's under a big weight. He's sticking to his task. He's a very promising racehorse, and given a bit of a chance in as much as allowed to settle down next start, I think he'll do better.
Well, there was Hariba. He holds a...
I think he'll do better.
Well, there was Hariba. He holds a Moonee Valley record, 1,200 metres, 1:08.2 yesterday. 5s out to 10 to 1. Amazing. Well, Max giving you all the advice.
Melbourne and Australian Horse of the Year, Mahogany, started favourite in the Craig Lee Stakes over 1,500 metres.
On the outside, joining in Credit Encounter. Pride of Rancho back behind them, and they're followed by Shartin Heights and Dark Star from a long way back. But it's Mahogany up on the outside. He goes up to tackle State Taj, battling on well, but the champion's under double reps. Mahogany. State Taj is fighting back. Mahogany just in front. Mahogany will just win it. Mahogany just won from State Taj.
Yes, Mahogany started
2 on. Next stop, the Underwood in a fortnight. State Taj again running a game race. Jeune, the eye catcher. Race
colours the blue and white striped cap. Now, these are carried by an import called One. It's owned by Elmerad. Attalac went on to win the Melbourne Cup. Elmerad, the Cox Plate. And I think this horse, One, who comes from 11th, should be the reigning Melbourne Cup favourite.
Right of Rancho back behind.
What do you think of his run, Import Lou?
I thought it was a good run. I think there'll be improvement in him. I think there'll be a lot of improvement in our horse too. So I think it may be a bit early to be calling him a Melbourne Cup favourite just yet.
Right. Good horses win by narrow margins?
I think so. You know, it was quite evident with Better Loosen Up when he was racing, and I'm sure Leilani and a lot of the great horses of the past didn't win by 3 and 4 lengths every time they went round. And I think...
But narrowly. Max, were you impressed?
No.
Oh, he's past 11, but...
Blinkers.
well before the Underwood, Mahogany saddled with 2 lead bags instead of 1. Luckily, Greg Hall noticed the error and reweighed.
The Victoria Amateur Turf Club reduced the race from 2,000 to 1,800 metres. Whatever the distance, the race was
on past the 800-metre mark. Runyon about a half to 3/4 in front of State Tars second. Paris Lane 2 lengths back third on the inside of Mahogany. There's been little or no change in the order. Back behind those, Jeune starting his run at the 600-metre mark, coming into it 3 wide now. Then our Pompeii, Seattle 2 lengths to Darkzar, the Phantom Chance, Young Pirate. At the turn now, Runyon tackled by State Tars. Mahogany just behind them. So too Paris Lane coming into it, and then Jeune. State Tars turned in front of Runyon. Mahogany coming at them quickly. Paris Lane pocketed. Jeune on the outside at State Tars, grabbed by now Mahogany. Jeune in turn over the top, and then Paris Lane. Mahogany under the whip, tackled by Jeune in the last 100. Jeune and Mahogany fighting it out neck and neck from Paris Lane. Jeune grabbed the lead. Paris Lane after Jeune, but Jeune will win it. Jeune first, Paris Lane second, Mahogany a weakening third.
trainer.
Mahogany a weakening third.
A Caulfield Cup start might now be cancelled. The Cox Plate, Melbourne Cup and Japan Cup, the aims for this impressive import.
To be honest, I thought Mahogany had too many things in his favour today from the barrier, and I didn't think we could give him a start at Wait for Age and pick him up, but he keeps surprising me, this horse.
I'm a little worried about Mahogany. I think there's probably something not quite right, but we'll get to the bottom of that. And I was thrilled with the other horse's run. I really believe after watching the replay he should have won the race, and it was a terrific trial for the Caulfield Cup.
Jeune very exciting at 7-2. Paris Lane was certainly unlucky, and a cloud now hangs over Mahogany's immediate future. Stage of this
next race. I loved the Underwood yesterday. Mahogany set to poise. Gee, this Jeune, I'm wrecked in him.
Now, this is a horse we pointed out in your absence a couple of weeks ago when Jeune flashed home in the Craigley Stakes, and it's a race that served up some good winners too, including from this stable, Bruce Elmerad, who went on to win a Cox Plate, and Attalac, who went on to win a Melbourne Cup. Now, Mahogany got to the front. It looked as though Greg Hall was nursing him, but I think he was trying to protect him. Mahogany wasn't right on the day yesterday, taking nothing away from Jeune. Lee Friedman told me this morning that he's having Mahogany vet tested and chiropractic tested. But gee, that's a good horse. I think he'll miss the Caulfield Cup now and go into the Cox Plate, and so he should.
Second horse was all right, wasn't he, Paris Lane?
Yes, he's the reigning Caulfield Cup favourite.
Max?
Question should be asked. I was far more impressed with the performance of Jeune yesterday, and to Keith Hillier's credit, he said that Jeune should have been the Melbourne Cup favourite after his third to Mahogany last start, and Paris Lane, who definitely had more scope for improvement than Mahogany yesterday, was far more impressive. Maybe there's something wrong with Mahogany's back, but certainly...
Third. In Sydney racing at Rose Hill today for the running of the T-Rose Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. Danarani and Aragon are expected to fight out the finish.
And then Street Theatre and Scenic Star. On the turn, past the 400 mark, Olympic Bid and Lament of the 2 leaders. Danarani's into the clear, taking a while to pick up. Here's Euphoria. Euphoria on the outside, making a very quick dash. She got past Danarani at the 200 mark, and Aragen on the extreme outside. Euphoria just the leader. Danarani coming again with Aragen on the outside. It's Aragen, Euphoria, Danarani. Danarani kicking. It's Danarani and Aragen. They hit the line, and Danarani...
That win took Danarani to 3 wins from 4 starts. Aragon second at 7-4.
Question that Bart Cummings said, well, if Lloyd Williams would like to rename the Mahogany Room, he can have Danarani.
She is special. Bart's saying she's better than Tristan are already. This is Vintage Crops winning the St Leger for the second successive year. He's in third place. His stablemate is leading at the moment.
It's the first time that any horse has won 2 Irish St Legers. This is the race that he won last year before coming out and winning our Melbourne Cup. He will pounce on them about the 600 metres, go to the front at the 400 metres, and watch Michael Kinane ease down Vintage Crop to win by 3 lengths on the line.
Is he now certain to come to the Melbourne Cup?
Oh, yes. His owner, Michael Smurfett, said after the race, and incidentally the Smurfett family sponsor this classic, said after the race, we'll give them some run for it in Melbourne. Well, have a look at him.
He's magnificent, Max. The commentator says it could be the start of another historic double for him.
Just a point there, could Irish Crop, Vintage Crop have had a pacemaker, and also the quality of his rivals? How do they measure up?
Well, Max, 3 of his rivals yesterday are Northern Hemisphere entrants, first acceptors for the Melbourne Cup. My Patriarch finished 7 lengths behind him. Bob's Return.
Keith, how would you regard that performance with the performance of Jeune?
Well, I would say that if Vintage Crop is right on the day, then the Melbourne Cup again will head to Ireland, Max. Last year he was weighted at 55.5. Since then, he's won 2 Irish St Legers. The Melbourne Cup, he's been runner-up in the
Ascot
in the Gold Cup. He won the Goodwood, the Goodwood Handicap or Cup.
Yeah, he's a wonderful horse. Look, he can't win though, I don't think, Keith. They don't double up. How many horses have won in the history of the Melbourne Cup twice?
4.
Yeah. How many years the Melbourne Cup's been going?
134. It'll happen again this year. If he's right on the day,
he won't win. He's got too much
certainty.
Weight. Can we go to Hong Kong?
A Group 2 race over 1,600 metres. Blevick is on the inside, punctual next along the line. Outside of School side, 700 metres outer. St Covered looks to be travelling well by a length in advance of Miss Vividly. Skipper Region on the outside of Blevick getting a nice run, followed by Northwood Plume just behind them, Punctuala. And then further back in the field is Deja Slewed Obsessed is being ridden along at that point, second last. And last of all, Brilliant Poet as they race up towards the home turn where St Covered had skipped away. St Covered about 2 lengths clear in second place. Blevick is starting to run on. Northwood Plume is making ground on the inside. Obsessed is a mile back as they round the home turn. St Covered, the leader, about to be tackled by the filly. Northwood Plume, who moved up on the inside to tackle St Covered, who's fighting on well, and down the outside, Blevick is joining him with Punctual Obsessed, not in the race. Halfway down the straight now, Blevick is coming at St Covered. Blevick on the outside, St Covered fighting back gallantly on the inside. Blevick, St Covered, they hit the line. Blevick's just beaten St Covered. Third home is Punctual, followed by Northwood Plume. Skipper Region, followed by Deja.
I think he's a worthy Guineas favourite, or
Blevick was backed into 3 to 1. St Covered a much better run. The pair is set to clash again in the Caulfield Guineas.
Here, 11 to 1 now Durbridge, 9 to 1 Viander Cross. Gee, look well Viander Cross. 12 to 1 Seal, $2.70, almost 7 to 4 now. March Hare, good odds on the tote. Brave Warrior is into 7 to 2, $4.60 on the tote.
Good on you, Ken. Thank you. It is a class race, off and running in the George Main, and Telesto immediately out the back and bouncing out quickly is Wabash Square and 3/4. Durbridge in his favourite role, led by a length to Soho Square and 3/4 away. March Hare near the fence, a length to Brave Warrior. He's being niggled a bit by Munce as they come to the turn, followed by Law of the Land. Then Kingston Bay in that bunch, No Belotto, followed by Wabasso Deposition. Viander Cross has pulled out wide, is starting to make up ground, and still Telesto is last and Navy Seal second last. Over the rise now, and Durbridge is Carey got away from them. Durbridge put about 2.5 lengths on Soho Square, followed by March Hare and then Brave Warrior, but Durbridge going strongly at the 200 mark. March Hare knuckling down to his work, and here comes the 3-year-old Brave Warrior. Brave Warrior's the one to go after Durbridge. Durbridge still in front. Brave Warrior inch by inch is getting to him with Viander Cross flying down the outside. Durbridge has lasted to win the George Main from Brave Warrior, and Vandy a huge run for third wide out. I think he's third, just in front of March Hare. Then No Belotto, Soho.
He tactically outrode them, didn't he? He slowed them up and then was able to sprint away.
Yeah, well, they allowed him to dictate terms. Lee Friedman maintains that Simon Marshall is one of the few real weight-for-age riders in Australia, and I'm beginning to agree with him. That's Durbridge in front, allowed to coast. Now, watch down the outside. You'll note Viander Cross. Now, this was a phenomenal run. Poking up on the inside is John's horse, March Hare, there with Cassidy pumping away. That's Brave Warrior down the outside. Look at the extreme outside, Viander Cross gobbling them up with every stride. That is the old Viander Cross. He's certainly back.
Has come off the fence. 700 to go. Brave Warrior's been in front for most of the trip, led by a length to Shystad. Dane Winners third on the fence, followed by Glide Away, and then Law of the Land and Breathtaker with Stay Tuned 3 deep as they near the turn, and the last couple of Simulcast and Celtic Explosion with Simulcast under heavy pressure. Coming around the corner, Brave Warrior the leader. Jackie Chair has come off the fence on Dane Win, who's had a dream run, and Dane Win goes up to head Brave Warrior. Brave Warrior gave in pretty quickly. Stay Tuned down the outside is a big danger. Stay Tuned has raced up to Dane Win. They're clear of Brave Warrior and Glide Away. It's Dane Win clear with 100 to go. Brave Warrior coming again. Stay Tuned can't go on. Dane Win just in front. Brave Warrior fighting back tenaciously, but Dane Win ridden an absolute treat by Jackie Chair, and Dane Win beat Brave Warrior. Stay Tuned has run third, followed by Breathtaker.
A perfect ride there by Hong Kong jockey Jackie Chair, but an inconclusive result given that Brave Warrior was forced to lead. The champions handicapped the Metropolitan over 2,600 metres. Here the favourite was the Gold Coast visitor Umpala, having cut a swing. 7 days earlier in a major Metropolitan handicap lead-up, Glastonbury had tailed out to last as favourite. The David Hayes gelding had to subsequently endure a number of veterinary checks and chiropractic manipulations before being allowed to take his place in the field.
Going third, now there's Double Take making a fast move on the outside of Rose Reward, followed by Restitution. Pleasant Conquest is out deep and ridden a bit now, followed by Irish Rort, who's had a good run on the fence. Further back, Nasser Rich, and then Cup of Cheer, followed by Dark Czar, who's not doing enough at the moment. Glastonbury well back with Major Decision. Umpala giving them a tidy start as they come to the turn, and he's under some pressure, followed by Anything's Possible, and tailed off is the Hunted. Coming around the turn, Tiakau Nick the leader, over Double Take on the outside. 3 deep, Rose Reward, Striking Gold is gone. Cautious Cluden on the fence behind them, and Restitution on the outside. Further out, Glastonbury and Nasser Rich. On top of the rise, Tiakau Nick tackled on all sides. Firstly by Cautious Cluden, Rose Reward, and here's the big grey Glastonbury, and Irish Rort is getting through near the rail. Glastonbury swept to the lead 100 metres out. Irish Rort on the fence, Umpala in the centre. Glastonbury is struggling near the line. Umpala can't quite reach him, and Glastonbury won the Metrop over Umpala.
Glastonbury's defeat of the luckless Umpala precipitated one of the noisiest and most sustained demonstrations on an Australian racecourse for years, despite the fact that punters...
It summed up Metropolitan Day 1994, the day Glastonbury performed one of horse racing's great turnarounds. Last week, the gelding lost by 16.5 lengths. Today, he stormed home to the biggest barrage of boos heard at Randwick for decades. The punters calling for an inquiry.
Turnarounds in racing, this is probably one of the biggest, but it's something I can't really explain. And he did have manipulation, but that obviously has helped the horse.
Was on it. Well, you caused a stir a couple of weeks ago when you said that he raced like a horse that might have been nobbled. It went on for a week and a week, but let's have a look how he won the Metropolitan. And I reckon this is the best quote of all time when David Hayes said after the race, "Gee, I've never been booed like that before. That was a Group 1 booing."
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
Hey, Umpala should have won by a lap.
Oh, yeah. Well, a nice, comfortable length and a half. But there is that grey thing coming down the outside now. It was 20 lengths behind only a week earlier, but Cooksley, notice how Cooksley tightens them up when he goes over. He leaves absolutely no room for Umpala until the race is all over. But Glastonbury getting to the line now, but Umpala cutting him down with every stride. Only had about a 50-metre clear run. Everybody can see. Oh, what do you think?
Umpala.
What do you think? Yeah. Well, that's what racing does to you, Keith. You should know that.
Seriously, Max, one of the biggest demonstrations you've seen?
Yes, it was the best in about 20 years, but...
Steel, Hariba was out...
The case with her.
In the Rupert Steel, Hariba was out to atone for a below-par effort in the Vic Health Cup, and the Flying Machine from Mornington did just that. Over on the flat side, Hariba's taken the lead and darted away now from You Remember. Oh, he gave him a kick and he exploded away, Hariba. And this brilliant sprinter comes away and wins the Rupert Steel. Hariba by 3 lengths on the line. Second placing went to You Remember, Simon Stad third. Trainer Ken Steele.
But Hariba swept to the lead. Hariba in front of You Remember. He's racing away. Simon Stad down the outside. It's all Hariba. A dazzling speed performance by Hariba, wins brilliantly by 3. You Remember second. Simon Stad third.
And Hariba is unbeaten in 3 at Flemington. Connections are considering $1 million sprint in Japan in December for the 4-year-old, and there he might clash
with the running of the Group 2 Turnbull Stakes at Flemington.
Only questions to be answered in the Turnbull. Had Mahogany overcome a back problem? And was stable.
Lengths first to last now, and Mahogany's had a cheap time in front. Comes to the turn, just a leader from Paris Lane, Numsing out wider. Behind them, Sugarstone and Tristalove waiting for the last pounce. Then Top Rating, Gossip's coming wide. Reading is next, and the Phantom Chance shuffled out to last. Paris Lane moved up now to Mahogany. They go together at the 400. Mahogany the inside and Paris Lane both haven't really gone for home yet. Leading 2 lengths to Tristalove and Reading sneaking through. He's coming home. Paris Lane went to the lead over Mahogany. Paris Lane at the 200 got a length in front. Reading's coming home well then. Tristalove. Paris Lane the leader. Reading after him, 100 to go. Paris Lane coming out off the track. He's a half in front of Reading. Paris Lane, Reading, here's the line. Paris Lane won it. Paris Lane a half a length to Reading. 3 lengths away.
Although not It was far from over. Paris Lane had drifted out, clearly hampering Reading. It didn't take long for stewards to uphold the protest. A bittersweet win, though, as Reading had pulled. If Reading's OK, it's the Cox Plate and Melbourne Cup. Paris Lane still right on target for the Caulfield Cup, and Tristalove could be switched to that race from the Cox Plate.
Leading trainer Lee Friedman today decided to spell last season's Horse of the Year Mahogany. A poor performance in yesterday's turn.
The latest market on race 4, Kenny.
I sure have, Max, and the favourite is Racer's Edge. Let's look at the prices. St Covert is showing $3.60. Racer's Edge still showing $3.40 on the tote. St Covert might get out a little bit. Bookies are a little bit more generous with him. Blevick, TAB number 3 from the David Hay stable is showing $5. Flashing, here's John Russell for the call of the Caulfield Guineas.
Railway side, just over 800 to go. St Covert by a length to Marwina. Half a length away is Blevick. 2.5 lengths away Racer's Edge. They're followed by Punctual. Lindbird on the inside of Stay Tuned. 2 lengths further back is Pomcell, and Obsessed is 8 lengths back at the tail of the field and dropping back out of it as they come up to the 500. St Covert, the leader, doing it well by a length to Blevick. Half a length away the inside then is Marwina. A length and a half. Racer's Edge making ground. A long gap further back in the field. Into the head of the others came Punctual, followed by Lindbird, Pomcell. Stay Tuned, hard ridden and tailed off is Obsessed. He'll be pulled out of the race as they straighten. St Covert is the leader in the home stretch with about 250 to go. Marwina now in hot pursuit, followed by Blevick, who's under the whip, and Racer's Edge is a long way back. St Covert about to be tackled by Marwina, but he's fighting on gamely. St Covert, he's still in front with 100 metres left to go. Marwina trying to get to him but won't make it. St Covert's going to lead all the way. St Covert wins it well, a length to Marwina. Tight for third, Blevick or Punctual. They're followed by Racer's Edge. A long
It leads the Guineas field at the turn. 400 to go from Marwina and Blevick coming at them. Racer's Edge winding up on the outside into the straight. St Covert went for home for Harris, led a length and a half. Marwina sticking on gamely. Blevick the outside, and then Racer's Edge in 4th placing at the 200. St Covert in front, tackled by Marwina. It's St Covert by a length though. Marwina can't reach St Covert. It's St Covert going strongly for Wayne Harris, and St Covert will win the Guineas. St Covert a length to Marwina. 2.5 lengths, a photo third. Blevick just from Punctual.
I would love to run him in the Cox Plate. I'd like to see him in a 2,000 metre race with 48 kilos. I've just got to convince the owners in the next couple of weeks.
St Covert started 13-4. Sydney Colt Marwina's second. St Covert's stablemate Blevick disappointing at the 1600.
Like St Covert. She was a good win. Dash it away, led, ran the time. He could win the Cox Plate.
What are they renting tow trucks at Moonee Valley? Well, I don't think it's immaterial of who gets back in the saddle. I think the Cox Plate is won by the best stayer. I don't think St Covert will be the best stayer in the Cox Plate this year.
Question about that.
It looks the winner here. However, the track seems to be favouring horses near the lead on the inside, and that could be a little bit of a hurdle for him. Number 1, Rough Habit, the Kiwi, is $6.50. Durbridge is out. The Phantom Chance, $26. Schwan, a hot favourite, $2.50. Saracen, third races in the All Cerise of the Ingham Brothers Woodland Stud Syndicate. He's at $8 on the TAB in Victoria. And Paris Lane, the best back to beat the favourite, is showing $4 metres. Lights on, off to a good start. Rough Habit and the Phantom Chance are starting to gain ground around the outside of Air Seattle, being followed by Tenor and Our Pompeii.
and a length and a half to Rough Habit, coming up in the direction of the 700-metre mark, and Sarah Sun coming back to the field, only a length to Paris Lane. A half length further back then is Jern, and they're followed closely by the Phantom Chance. Just in behind them here, Seattle Rough Habit, and further back in the field then is Tenor, followed by Our Pompey as they neared the home turn. Paris Lane has taken the leader, rounding the turn at the 400-metre mark by a half length to Jern, coming at him as they straighten up. Sarah Sun has beaten down the outside the Phantom Chance, followed by Air Seattle in the straight, and Jern raced up quickly on the outside to take the lead from Paris Lane, battling on well past the 200-metre mark, and Jern just in advance of Paris Lane, who's fighting on gallantly on the inside. Paris Lane on the inside, and Jern and Rough Habit. Look at old Rough Habit flying home. Jern the leader. Rough Habit's going to beat them both. Rough Habit a huge run. Rough Habit by a neck to Jern, ahead away third Paris Lane. Then the Phantom Chance, Air Seattle, followed by...
Running on under pressure, and next is Air Seattle. Paris Lane into the straight, the leader. Jern moved up to him, followed by the Phantom Chance, and then Sarah Sun, Air Seattle. Jern took the lead at the 200. Paris Lane fights back well on the inside. They've raced away now from Rough Habit, finishing well. Jern and Paris Lane, nothing between them from Rough Habit, the Phantom Chance. Paris Lane and Jern, with Rough Habit coming at them. Paris Lane, Jern, Rough Habit, Rough Habit! What a win! Rough Habit has got up to win in the last two strides.
While the last first effort. At the 200, Jern's put his head in front. Paris Lane battling back on the inside. Jern's racing erratically. Paris Lane's coming again. Rough Habit starting to fly. It's Paris Lane in front of Jern. Rough Habit coming all over the top of them on the outside, and he's got up. What a run! Rough Habit comes from last and wins the Caulfield Stakes by a neck to Jern and Paris Lane.
Raced around the world.
What a win!
He's 8 years old, raced around the world, had a year off the track after an operation, but still knows how to wow them.
I'm wrapped for the horse, you know, because he's probably underrated horse, really, and they write about all the great horses around, but he's probably one of the greatest.
He's a genuine.
And Paris Lane and Rough Habit are now equal favourites in the Caulfield Cup at 4-1. A decision on a start for Rough Habit.
Beating the Caulfield Stakes, it was a fantastic race. A dramatic and emotional win, I felt, for Rough Habit. But I must query our weight for age horses. Dear old Rough Habit, 11 Group 1s I know, but this is only his second win in Victoria. He's back on the fence in about second last placing. Jern's 3 deep, about to attack Paris Lane.
Well, look, don't go too far. You won't have anyone on your side. I mean, he's 28 wins from 63 starts. He's the third highest.
But he's not an A-plus horse, Keith. He's not a... You wouldn't call him you wouldn't call him a top-class weight for age horse.
Bruce, look at this magnificent horse. Look at him. Look, 8-year-old. Look at this finish. Have a look at him.
You wouldn't put him in the class of a Rubiton or a Vo Rogue or a Bone Crusher.
Yes, yes. And I'll put him in the sun. Look at him now.
Yeah, so would I, Max.
You're right.
Look
at him now. $3 million.
In a supportive vein.
I don't think the weight for age horses are much chop.
Oh, that's not fair to Rough Habit saying that. He's as good a horse as you see for a long time. He's raced all around the world.
He's wonderfully versatile. He's a people's champion. I don't think he's an absolute top-class weight for age horse.
Well, name another horse that's won 11 Group 1s that you'd put ahead of him.
Kingston Town and Manikato won more, but OK, none.
He hasn't
You're
stopped
right.
yet. This bloke hasn't stopped yet, though.
You might have me.
And I tell you, he'll run in the Caulfield.
Go Rough Habit. I just 7-2 each of 2. What's happened to Alcove? I love her.
Yes, no problem at all.
Oh, she'll win. She'll win the Melbourne Cup.
The Melbourne Cup.
Oh, there's a bit of
Alcove.
She is dropping a statement today. What's he been on?
She's the Melbourne Cup. Have a look at that vintage crop at 5.
Take the 5s now.
You've done a great job with vintage crop. You have done a great job with vintage crop.
If it...
And Bint Masqué a hot favourite, but the filly looked all at sea early and virtually no chance when they straightened. Bint Masqué starting to fly home on the outside now. It's Eleanor in front. Bint Masqué finishing at 100 miles an hour, but the post will be too close, I think. Eleanor, and I think, may have just... But to the surprise, but the filly looked all at sea early and virtually no chance when they straightened. Bint Masqué starting to fly home on the outside now. It's Eleanor in front. Bint Masqué finishing at 100 miles an hour, but the post will be too close, I think. Eleanor, and I think, may have just... But to the surprise of many, Bint Masqué got the photo by the barest possible margin. Lee Freedman was delighted with the way she overcame difficulties to score.
She's just got so much class. I mean, you don't see too many horses pick up 5 lengths in 200 metres in a 1,000-metre contest where they've broken the course record or equal the course record, so it's been a sensational performance.
1,000 guineas, punters...
80 cents. From the top, Rough Habit at $12, Air Seattle at $12, Our Pompey $26, $12 It's All in Fun to $8, Paris Lane $4.80, Tenner $11, Bullwinkle $10.
And the leader, Gold Sovereign. It's a truly run cup. He's 2.5 in front. It's All in Fun as second. 3 lengths further back is Alcove. 1.5 lengths then to Gossips, followed by Oppressor. 1.5 to Paris Lane. 2 lengths further back is Tenner, who's following Paris Lane. Pompeii, hear that bell a long way back on the inside. 2 or 3 lengths further back in the field. Then came Sari Club and Navy Seal. Umpala and Rough Habit is last of all. At the 600, Gold Sovereign by 2 lengths. It's All in Fun. 2.5 to Alcove. Oppressor the inside, hard ridden. Here's Paris Lane. Paris Lane starting his run around the home turn. Tenner gets off the fence coming home. Fraternity out wide staking a claim, and Bullwinkle with a run. Out wide then came our Pompeii. It's All in Fun led the field into the straight. Paris Lane after him from Alcove. Then came Tenner. It's All in Fun grabbed by Paris Lane and Alcove. Paris Lane at the 200 took the lead from Alcove. Tenner down the outside, but Paris Lane broke away. He's home. Paris Lane's cup. 2 lengths Alcove and Tenner, and Paris Lane wins it. 1.5 lengths to Alcove. Third is Tenner.
Paris Lane's... Air Seattle, Umpala is back second last with Rough Habit. Into the straight now, it's All in Fun. Hit the front, here comes Paris Lane and Alcove at the 200 metre mark, and Paris Lane on the outside goes up to It's All in Front and Alcove. Damien Oliver's driven the favourite to the front, Paris Lane. It's all over, I'd say. He's dashed away from Alcove and Tenner getting to third, but it's Paris Lane's Caulfield Cup. Paris Lane wins 1.5 lengths Alcove.
He only started racing late last year, and Oliver had ridden the race of his life.
There's only one more to go. Melbourne Cup, and I'll be pretty happy if we win that.
Favourite at 3s, second Alcove at 8s, and a great ride by Paddy Payne, and third Tenner at 6s.
A course record win by Paris Lane, and it couldn't have gone better to script. And the only black spot for Damien Oliver, a $200 fine for gesturing to other riders as he went over the line with his whip. 3-to-1's whip. 3-to-1 favourite for Paris Lane. He's been penalised 3 kilograms for the Melbourne Cup. Will carry 55.5 on the first.
Favourites Cup. It was a terrific cup, Max, wasn't it?
I don't think I've seen a horse have a race won, a major event won so far from home, Keith, and I've never seen a more cleanly run Caulfield Cup. You've seen kilo penalty lead. Do you think that's too much for Paris Lane in the Melbourne Cup?
No, I like penalties. Honestly, like horses getting penalties because they usually win with penalties. It's usually an assessment of how well the handicapper thinks they're going at the time.
Do you think he'll handle a 3 thoroughbred, lengthening his stride and going to the line like a good thing should? I don't know, Lee, is there anything behind him that could trouble him in the Melbourne Cup, in your opinion?
Yeah, I thought Alcove's run was very good. In fact, I considered her to be the danger in the race, and I think she's...
Melbourne Cup markets finished crop. The clear favourite doubles bookmakers, Max, facing a massive payout if he wins.
Yeah, well, they had a bit of a massive result when Top Rating didn't get into the field either, so we won't cry for doubles.
All right, Paris Lane on the...
Oliver and Friedman did it again as the mighty Grey Scalacci made a dynamic return to racing in the sprint.
Remember, and down the outside, Scalacci coming with a run. Hero Win, Barcara from Scalacci further out on the track. Hero Win ducking in. Scalacci's going to get up, I think. Yes, he will. Yes, Scalacci.
Scalacci was given a grand ovation and has
barely beaten in his attempt for a third straight Lightning the following autumn. But the champ just wasn't racing with his usual zest. On resuming, however, he found his real form.
The lead, Scalacci, bells of ear coming home, but old Scalacci, what a great comeback.
Then lost and has now won 14 of his 25 starts.
She 5s to 8s, as you remember, was hot favourite.
On the outside is the old grey Scalacci starting to close on them, but Hero Wind hit the lead. Scalacci, bells of ear coming home, but old Scalacci, what a great comeback, he's won it.
We've worked hard at him though. He came back in and he's been in for a long while. Done a lot of work with him to try and get him back. Big thrill. Have a wonderful day, Luke. Thanks, mate. I'm doing that.
Scalacci hadn't raced since April this year, easing from 5s out to 8-to-1, scored an emphatic win. But Friedman's big day wasn't over. And Keltrice was favourite.
From Daring Ombre, then Plaska. Simonstad running into a pocket. Sequelo full of running round the turn, though. 2 lengths to Keltrice and Alanon, then Daring Ombre, but Sequelo has it shot to pieces. Well clear from Keltrice and Alanon, and then Simonstad, but it's all Sequelo. He'll dazzle them, wins by about 4. Sequelo over Alanon.
Sequelo's unbeaten in 3,000-metre starts. He equalled the course record today. The Moonee Valley...
Big win today. In the Moir Stakes, Sequelo Donkey licked a smart field, equalling the course record in the process. race. Around the turn, Sequalo's going like a winner, though. He's kicked away 2 lengths in front of Keltreese and Alanon. Further back, Daring Ombre, but Sequalo's going to win and win brilliantly. Sequalo punched out, wins the Moir in a canter. 4 lengths to Alanon. Keltreese third in front of Simon Stab, which ran on. Then
Clearly, jockey Norman Weymouth is what...
I'm not going to say he's better than Rancher, but I've always said he's equal to Rancher, you know, so it's been a great achievement for the horse to come back after 9.
I remember Rancher, his stablemate got beaten by Manicato, didn't he?
Well, they say he's as good as Rancher now.
Well, he is as good, and there's a pity in a way he's not backing up. I reckon it's a race of the Carnival next week, Ariba versus Bint Masqué and Scalacci over 1200. Do you agree with...
For BMW Cox Plate, one Rough Habit is still showing around $40. Number 2 Durbridge is into $8. Number 3 Solvit into $15. Number 4 is $1. Number 5 Juan is coming from $5 to $4.50. Number 6 Reading is still at $6.50. Number 12 Tristalove at $6.50. Number 13 St Covent at $7.50 out to $8. And Dane Win is showing at $30.
Racing. Reading snap away quickly down on the inside with Durbridge. St Covent began brilliantly. Solvit didn't begin all that fast, sitting back early. And St Covet's going very fast, will easily be in front at the post the first time. St Covent flings away Rough Habit. Now Solvit goes to the front, out to the 1400. And the New Zealander Solvit in front, a length and a half to St Covent. Matthews just let him get back second last or third last. Behind him is Tenor and Rough Habit on the rails. Going past the 1000. And Solvit the leader, 2.5 St Covent. A length and a half to Durbridge. Snap having a lovely run fourth the inside. Danewin trapped out, and then it's all in fun. One further back is Reading over on the inside of Soho Square. Then Trista Love, Jearn, Alcove, River Verdon well back from Tenor, and last on the inside Rough Habit. Solvit the leader down the side. 2 lengths to St Covent. Durbridge striding into it. Snap over on the inside, and then Danewin under pressure. They're followed by Reading, hard ridden, making ground, and then Soho Square. It's all in fun. Drops out. Jearn to the outside. Well back is Trista Love. River Verdon coming up towards the turn, and Solvit is the leader by a length and a half. Durbridge rushes up into second placing, followed then by St Covent. Here's Reading starting his run on the outside. Solvit leads into the straight from Durbridge, and Reading coming on strongly, and then St Covent. Solvit the leader now from Durbridge, and Reading on the outside. Still Solvit has it, 100 metres to go. Reading, and here is Alcove now, and Rough Habit is diving through. Solvit still in front. Rough Habit, no! Solvit a nose to Rough Habit, a mighty run second. Reading is close up third, I think, just in front of Alcove. Then Danewin.
A try. 1.5 then to Reading going up to 5th. Then Danewin, Soho Square, it's all in fun. Jearn, hard ridden, River Verdon's gone past him. Then Trista Love, and further back in the race, Rough Habit and Tenor. And well back is Alcove. Solvit the leader up to the bend. Durbridge after him on the outside. They're followed by Reading into the clear now, coming with a run. At the 200, Solvit 2 in front. Reading and Durbridge after him now, followed by Alcove. Solvit the leader. Reading wearing him down, getting a run through Rough Habit. The mighty Rough Habit after Solvit. Solvit in front. Solvit wins a nose, Rough Habit. Reading is third, I'd say, from Alcove. They're followed.
Reading on the outside, and old Rough Habit getting through in the middle. Solvit in front, Rough Habit coming through. Solvit the leader, Rough Habit grabbing him on the line. Solvit's one and ahead to Rough Habit. Reading close up third. Alcove made up a lot of ground.
And Moira Murdoch, only the second lady ever to train a Cox Plate winner. Solvit easing from 6s out to 10 to 1.
It's true. Your trainer, margin of just that much made the difference between you being able to even come into Channel 7 this morning.
With Rough Habit, look, I could talk about Rough Habit for ages. I'll say one thing, I love the horse. Had he won yesterday, I would have been cheering as loudly as anyone else, but I'll stick with what I said earlier on. Yeah, we could go on. He's not a champion. Not by any stretch, in my opinion, certainly not a weight for age champion. By the way, he was 50 to 1 yesterday in the Cox Plate. If he's the best horse since Kingston Town that Jim Cassidy said, he wouldn't have been 50 to 1 in the Cox Plate. That was the most... I wish Jim was here, because Jim went to Singapore yesterday.
You're up to your neck.
Yes,
Just don't go
change
under.
the subject.
David wants
but the horses to watch are Alcove, from a Melbourne Cup viewpoint. She gets home hard to finish 4th. And Danewin, he'll win the Derby on that run.
Yeah, great run.
Don't you miss Rough Habit there. Just look
he was terrific, wasn't he?
Surging through here.
Great run. Solvit just hanging on. Reading didn't make the turn very well. He probably lost his winning chance on the turn.
Well, the little things do come again.
The Moonee Valley Cup, formerly run as a handicap, but now run at special weights over 2,600 metres. In 1990, the race provided the Melbourne Cup winner, Kingston Rule. And this year's victor was also destined to be among the popular elects at Flemington on the first Tuesday in November.
Goal Sovereign 500 out, under enormous pressure, 3 to Top Rating. The Phantom Chance a length away to third, then Pindy out, Pompey strike high. Glastonbury's starting to drop out. Top Rating's got to Goal Sovereign on the turn. 2 further back out, Pompey with a run now. The Phantom Chance struggling and further back in the race, strike high. Top Rating went for home, 200 to go, shot 3 in front now. From our Pompey, he looks home, Top Rating. He's 4 in front now from our Pompey. Starstruck with a late run, very, very late, but he's well clear, Top Rating. He's down by the rider. Top Rating wins at a length and 3/4. Might be Starstruck and nose to our Pompey for the Miners.
Winning position. Our Pompey, the dual Adelaide Cup winner out of the pack chasing. Into the straight, Top Rating the leader from our Pompey. Then the Phantom Chance, but it's Top Rating well clear of our Pompey. Then the Phantom Chance and Starstruck, but Top Rating. This is a brilliant performance. Oliver sits quiet as a church mouse. Top Rating by 2 lengths. That could be the best Melbourne Cup trial of the spring. Top Rating drops 3.5 kilos to 52.5 in the Cup. And what a birthday present for David Hayes. He says this win might have been even too easy.
Probably a bit easy, to be honest. You know, he had it was just a canter round for him. I'll have to seriously look on how he pulls up, whether I give him one more race, because he's in awesome form.
Well, I've got to honour
And bookmakers reacted to Top Rating's outstanding win. He firmed to 4-1 second favourite for the Melbourne Cup. Vintage Crop is still the outright pick at 7-2, and at 10-1 Jeune, Quick Ransom, Reading and Star.
Easiest win you'll ever see. Geez, exciting this.
Now, a word of warning, don't get too carried away.
Why?
This cup was won in 8 seconds outside the race record held by Donegal Mist, who went on to the Melbourne Cup and finished 14th. Now, 8 seconds, Bruce, is about 55 lengths.
You know as well as I. How many years have you been going to the races?
Oh, 3 or 4.
OK. Well, when you've been going as long as I have, 10, you realise that times in these races have got nothing to do with it, mate.
It's got to be
Of course, they've got a lot to do with
50 lengths. 50 lengths.
David, let's get an expert's opinion on this. Somebody that's been going, that's been on the race horse's back. Does time mean anything? Bruce has just made one of his more incredible statements that time doesn't mean anything. Could you enlighten us from the jockey's point?
And David, don't be influenced by Max.
Different races, you know, they vary. So I think in sprint races, times do make a difference. But in starting races,
look, whether they... And there's the betting on the Cup. David, if you had to have a pick at this stage, who would you go for?
I like Paris Lane. Couldn't have been any more impressive in the course.
10-1. Now, David Oliver has to make his mind up tomorrow, doesn't he?
Yes, indeed.
First, the Melbourne Cup may be robbed of its biggest draw card. Champion Vintage Crop has only a 50-50 chance of running in next week's big one after a freak mishap at Sandown today.
Hitting an unprotected guardrail. 14 stitches to heal the gash.
His chances are as good as 50-50. I want to be positive, and I do think.
Peter, there's been some massive plunges on both Blevick and Dame Win, both very well supported. Bets of 20, 30 and 40,000 on both of them. Stony Bay, the only horse to really ease in the market.
For Stony Bay, it's $6.10. They are the 3 popular elects. And on the second, AMI Victoria Derby of 1990. On the second, AMI Victoria Derby of 1994. 10 lengths would cover up the field, and last of all, Corey's Magic. 700 metres to go on the Derby, and it's Stony Bay in front. He'll come to the home turn with an advantage of a length on Deja Slew. Dane Win third, yet to be called on, followed by Punctual. Around the outside, Kid Calamity improving, and then came Happy Star under the whip, and Blevick is in about 6th position. Around the turn, 500 to go. Stony Bay's 2 lengths in front of Deja Slew. Dane Win's into the clear and starting to press on, and now Blevick works into it from Kid Calamity. Down to the 300, Stony Bay being challenged now very quickly by Dane Win and Blevick. Then Kid Calamity. Dane Win goes up on the outside of Stony Bay, fighting back, and now Blevick joining in. Dane Win in front, Blevick claiming him on the outside. Blevick is going home the better. Blevick's taken the lead in the Derby, and Blevick's won for Rodney Griffiths and David Hayes. Dane Win second, Stony Bay third. A long break to Kid Calamity, and then came...
Now, Blevick gets to third on the inside of Deja Slew, and Kid Calamity with a run. Dane Win's after Stony Bay, 250 to go. Blevick challenges strongly. Dane Win, Stony Bay at the 200 with Blevick coming at them. Dane Win and Stony Bay, Blevick on the outside. Dane Win put its nose in front. Blevick answers the whip of Rodney Griffiths. Blevick got to Dane Win in the shadows, and Blevick won the Derby. Blevick by half a length to Dane Win. Third, Stony Bay.
A Derby.
Trainer David Hayes was overcome with joy. But for Hong Kong jockey Jackie Chi, total dejection. after riding Dame Win to second. The Australian manager of the Hong Kong Syndicate owns Dame Win. Former Prime Minister Bob Hawke was there to offer sympathy. Next up was the Derby.
Thank you.
Dame Win was 6-4 favourite, Stony Bay at 6-1.
Best crowd. Felt that we would have a look at I just felt that you've got to be careful. Jackie Shee made no mistakes at all on Dame Win, except a stronger rider at the furlong, a cut across the rump, and I'm sure he might have. Well, I think he would have found something. I mean, Blevick was ridden hard by Griffiths, got over the top of him.
Yeah, they were two great rides, but I tend to agree. I think that
I think that the key to the race was a great ride by Rodney Griffiths, so I'm not taking any...
Go to the front. Now he has, but look at the difference in style here. You reckon one across the backside on Dame Win wouldn't have made a difference, Max?
Well, you don't know. You don't know that. But up until now, he's ridden the horse to perfection.
But you're stressing up until now.
Up until
no
now.
Argument. It's
20
now
or 30,
that it
yeah,
matters.
but he rode it perfectly during the race.
Rodney?
I would love to get on business.
Well, I saw a report on radio. I was out there and had the tranny, and you were absolutely staggered when you saw this incident. Jackie Shea with Bob Hawke, who's the racing manager, saying that you and Tommy Smith had never seen anything like this on a racecourse in all your time you've been going.
Yes, Bart Cummings said he'd never seen it. There's Jackie Shea embracing and sobbing the former Prime Minister, Bob Hawke. I was at a private whaling wall myself.
Yeah, a damage. Poetic King, $6.80, one of three well-fancied horses for this race. Hariba, $2.50, and the firm favourite, Bint Masqué, $7.40. Wasn't it a super run first up at Caulfield when she equalled the track record? You got Rooseland at $19.10, comes from Sydney with good form. Pretty big odds, the rest of them, but they are well-credentialed sprinters. You remember side of the track, whereas coming down the grandstand side of the track, it's Bint Masqué in front of All Our Mob. Royal Discard is up running into third placing as they're about to go over the crossing, and Carptingly just behind those. Flatside probably just in front of the 700-metre point. Hariba's worked his way to the lead. Going up on the outside, You Remember. Just behind them over on the inside, Legal Agent, then Roanoke Boy. Primacy ridden along a little bit, and then came Poetic King, Ali Shan. Just Awesome next, and then Espinosa, Magic of Money, the heavyweight. Simon Stad dropped out of it and let him ride, and down the grandstand side of the track, Bint Masqué under pressure. Royal Discard went past it, and Rooseland running into it. But Hariba gave them the slip on the flat side. Hariba the leader down the grandstand side, Royal Discard. Hariba in front of Royal Discard and Carptingly. Hariba clear, Royal Discard getting to second with Carptingly, but Hariba's won it. Carptingly might have grabbed second on the line from Royal Discard, and then came Rooseland. Next in Magic of Super Horse, unbeaten in 4 starts at Flemington. And just on the strength of this...
Remember, Primacy under the whip, and then Poetic King as they came towards the 200-metre mark now. Out on the grandstand side, Royal Discard going to the lead, but it's Hariba. Hariba left them dazzling on the inside. He's broken 4 lengths in front. Hariba well clear. Royal Discard leads the grandstand, but it's Hariba and Royal Discard from Carptingly. Hariba's won it on the flat side. A brilliant performance.
This was behind Poetic King. Hariba overcame a clear track bias which favoured horses on the outside rail. So there was enormous merit in this performance. As we'll...
He travelled terrific, Johnny. He bounced into the bit. Travelled a little keener today than he did on the Rupert Steel, but, mate, he's a champ. He's an exciting horse, isn't he? Very exciting.
Hariba 5-4 favourite, unbeaten at Flemington, and ran very fast time relative to today's conditions.
But geez, exciting Hariba, isn't he?
Oh, he's the best sprinter I've seen since Vane, Bruce. 4
Better
times.
than Placidark, Scalacci?
Oh, easily so.
Easily so?
Yes, no doubt. He's had 4 trips to Flemington, 4 wins.
Could you forget quickly?
No, I don't. I've got a good memory.
What about the Lightning Stakes, the Oakley Plate and the Newmarket? Aren't they and the Galaxy? Aren't they the 4 big races in Australia?
Gentlemen, he is an outstanding horse. I don't think he's quite got there yet, but I think he's got the potential.
Go on, Keith.
This was the best sprint field lined up at Flemington in any race for ages. Now, he beats the inside horses, where it seemed to be a bit slower there. The outside brigade finished in the minor placings. He beat them by 4 lengths. Had he drawn the outside, he would have won by 8.
Well, 5.
Into the gates for the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes, race 6 on the card. They're filling up the gates pretty well.
Rough Habit, $5.30. Reading, $4. Jeune, $5.40. Paris Lane is the popular elect, and it is showing $3.80 for the win. Gary, what's your tip for the race?
Oh, well, look, I like the look of Reading. I thought Old Rough Habit looks great, but...
Mark, the leader, he's been in front from the start. 3/4 of a length to Irish Rod and a half a length away Paris Lane third the inside. Now Tenor improving, going to 4th, followed by Reading. Rough Habit getting closer. He's 4 lengths off the lead, and then came Jeune the rail. Air Seattle, Excited Angel, and 2 lengths away, Top Rating last of all. They sweep into the turn, 550 metres to go. Ballpark is being joined by Irish Rort. Tenor goes up 3 wide. There's a run for Paris Lane down on the rail, and Oliver takes it. Further out was Redding, and then came Jeune, Excited Angel, Rough Habit. Down to the 300, Paris Lane got through on the inside to take the lead. Jeune coming out after him. Tenor Redding down the outside with Rough Habit. It's Paris Lane in front, Excited Angel getting through. Tenor fighting on well, Paris Lane in front of Tenor. Excited Angel on the inside, Jeune late, but Paris Lane in front, Jeune lunging late but won't get him. Paris Lane's wanted a neck to Jeune. Excited Angels run third, Tenor fourth. Top Rating very much an eye catcher. See him sneaking through for fifth. Rough Habit didn't finish it off, and neither did Redding. Then Ballpark Jeune $1.80 and Excited Angel $3.13. You'll find that's the way they have finished 8, and surely one of the favourites for the Melbourne Cup.
One of the great runs in the race was Jeune. It pulled a little bit hard, but it certainly got home well the last little bit. Top Rating, I noticed in the run, was pulling fairly hard, but has run home well. But all the honours are with the winner, Paris Lane.
Okay,
Stony Bay. Paris Lane was sent
front. Redding coming after him with Tenor. It's Tenor and Paris Lane at the 300 from Redding, and then Excited Angel. It's Paris Lane, hands and heels from Tenor. Rough Habit on the outside. Redding struggling. Here's Jeune and Excited Angel getting through. Paris Lane still in front of Tenor. Excited Angel. Paris Lane confidently ridden. Paris Lane. Paris Lane.
A firming 4-1 choice for the Melbourne Cup. Paris Lane doing just enough, and Damien Oliver now satisfied he's made the right choice for the Cup.
It's been an agonising week, and you know, even if I don't make the right decision and Top Rating happens to win the Cup, I'm happy with the choice I've made.
I was pleased to see him settle.
Paris Lane started 9-4. Of the other Cup trials, Top Rating 6th was very good. He meets Paris Lane 5 kilos better on Tuesday.
Stakes and the Melbourne Cup. There's some great runs in this. Top Rating was an eye-catcher. But, Bruce, the bottom line is that every runner in the McKinnon had its chance to beat Paris Lane, and none could.
Not everyone. Not every runner. There was one that didn't. Never got it.
He's done it all.
He has. Jeune, I thought, was a good run. What, do you think Jeune could win a Melbourne Cup?
No.
No?
Won't stay 2 mile.
That's why you're not riding him?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, good. Gee,
Will Top Rating stay 2 miles in this company, Rod?
I think so, yeah. Well, ride over the 2 mile, and the one that has Vintage Crop is going to be hard to beat. But, I'm sticking, you know, I think Paris Lane's going to be very hard to beat.
Gee, he's got a lot of admirers. He's a great horse. Dermot, you've seen Week. Yeah. You were at the Cox Plate, I believe, and certainly, who are the best horses, do you think, to beat for Vintage Crop to beat?
I thought last week had to be Alcove and Top Rating, but I think Paris Lane is the horse I've got to beat.
I want to ask you, Top Rating and Paris Lane are the equal favourites. It's David Hayes and Lee Friedman, and Vintage Crop is the third favourite on the second line. So we've got the men in here, and Bart's got...
Stuck with Vintage Crop all along, and sorry about the setback that Dermot's had, but...
Beat Alcove and Top Rating in the tip.
Got the weight. He's had a terrific run on Saturday, great run in there, and I think Alcove and...
That track at Flemington, would it be softened by rain or a VRC water cart?
If they don't, there's a possibility that neither horse will run.
It might have been coincidental, but the cart was out on the track within the hour.
And then she went to Clawville, never had much luck. Her run last week at Moonee Valley, she got held up a little and run well. But she's a wet tracker. When the rain come today, here we are.
Well, does that indicate that the cut is out of the ground now, do you think?
Nothing surer, nothing surer. Just worried me. Alcove, Sun's got Alcove in the next race. Everyone knew it was going to rain. They watered the track this morning. Australia's had the best racing in the world, and now we've got the overseas people coming out to run racing.
So you think that the...
$48.30 for the win. Jeune, $20.20. Our Pompeii, $20.60. Air Seattle, $46.60. Paris Lane, $7. Here That Bell, number 9 Impala, $47.60. 10 Top Rating at $9.20. Double Take, $82. Clifton Gale, $9.30. Coachwood 53, Major Decision 84, Pindy 7.
Across the nation on this race alone, the money has all come for the top weight, the defending champion in Vintage Crop. Opened up the day at double each way odds. He has been backed into half those odds. River Vernon has
been ridden a treat by Darren Beedman. Then came Top Rating. Jeune was next. Quick Ransom behind them from Here That Bell. Vintage Crop around the outside, followed by Starstruck as they start to bunch up. Impala, Air Seattle back behind those. Clifton Gale still back of the tail with Major Decision and Glastonbury. Bunching right up with about 800 metres left to go in the Melbourne Cup. Toll Bell went up on the outside of Gold Sovereign to take the lead. Double Take was third around the outside, making up good ground. River Verdon, Air Seattle runs into it. Major Decision around the outside, followed by Jeune. Coachwood's in need of a run as Gold Sovereign drops out of it. Oppressor just behind them. Paris Lane, Glastonbury taken to the outside. Around the turn, many chances in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, and Oppressor is going to lead into the straight. Oppressor from Double Take. Jeune has got a dream run through in the middle. Hear that bell running on, and here's Paris Lane and Impala. Alcove comes into it, down to the 300. Jeune skipped a length and a half in front of Paris Lane. Impala battling on, and then came Alcove. Jeune 2.5 in front. Impala running on hard the outside. Jeune's in front though, they're not going to get to him, and Jeune has won the Melbourne Cup. Jeune a length and a half, and how easy for him. Paris Lane has run second, Impala third, then Double Take, followed in by Vintage Crop. Hear that Bell Alcove top rating, that Bell Alcove top rating, Grass Valley. Further,
this is Jeune, and hear that bell. Paris Lane staking a claim wide out around the home turn. Glastonbury very deep. When they enter the straight, Quick Ransom had got shuffled out. Cleveland Gale is well back. Vintage Cropper starting his run. Round the turn, Oppressor the leader. Coming after it, Double Take. Jeune near the inside. Wide out Alcove, and here comes Paris Lane. Paris Lane with his runners starting to mow them down, and so is Impala. Impala with a run, but Jeune hit the front. Jeune out by 2 lengths to Paris Lane. Alcove, Double Take, Impala. Jeune the leader though. Jeune in front of Paris Lane. He's got a 2-length break. Impala the outside. It's Jeune still in front. He's 2 lengths clear. He's holding them. And Jeune's going to win the Melbourne Cup by 2 lengths to Paris Lane. Impala a half ahead away third. Then Double Take, Alcove.
He took the blinkers off and just left the pacifiers on him today. And if ever a guy deserved to win a race like this, it's Wayne Harris. He's had everything, this boy. He's had a brain tumour. Everything's gone wrong for him, but today he's had his moment of glory.
He fought and won a battle against a brain tumour, and it was this day 12 months ago he was in hospital recovering from a finger amputation. He picked up the Jeune mount only after Shane Dye opted for a stablemate on Saturday. And will only be going to Japan if something goes amiss with Reading and Rough Habit. If not, it's the Paddock, and then the Tancred Stakes and the Australian Cup in the autumn. Jeune back.
His guts and determination. Wider on the track, you've got Paris Lane and Vintage Crop having their bumping duel. That distracted many. Both were favoured runners, and in that time, Jeune slipped through and put the cup in the bag.
David, your feelings here, you've got 4 runners. Top rating was the fancied one. Jeune sprinted away 2 lengths in front.
Yes, I was, of course, more attention on the leader at this stage, but I've got to be honest, for most of the race I was watching Top Rating, my father's horse, and he just didn't accelerate on the ground, and the other 2 didn't have the best of runs.
Probably the best 3 or 4 particularly sprinters in Australia. Got an auntie named Mary because you come up extraordinary short. Scalacci 620, Caltreese 1370, $2 Arriva, 430 Sequalo, 9, and they're away in racing. Al-Anon jumped well over on the inside. Now Scalacci and Caltreese are going to go straight to the outside rail. This is very interesting now. Scalacci point, it's Arriba and Al-Anon matching strides on the flat side, and the flat side are in front. From Sequalo, third, Auntie Mary fourth, and down the grandstand side, Caltreese and Scalacci. They have 500 to go. Arriba, the leader from Al-Anon, under pressure. Sequalo's travelling well in 2 lengths, Auntie Mary. And down the grandstand side, Caltreese in front of Scalacci, hard ridden but only a half a length away. At the 350, Arriba under pressure. Sequalo goes to him. 5 lengths away, Auntie Mary. Sequalo and Arriba together. Down the grandstand side, Caltreese and Scalacci. It's Sequalo and Arriba. Caltreese down the outside. It's over on the inside. Taking the lead, Sequalo away from Arriba, and then Caltreese, Sequalo's in front, and Sequalo's won it. Sequalo beat Arriba. Third placing Caltreese. Auntie Mary fourth, Scalacci fifth, and Al-Anon was last and sixth.
Rode the champion Rancher. How do you compare him?
Well, mate, I reckon he's as good as Rancher, and he hasn't won a Group 1 yet.
No, but he will very shortly, I'd say.
There's no doubt. I think there's the Oakley place.
Arriba will now be spelled for the Australia Stakes in January.
Just before they jump in the Oaks, let's have a last look at the tape with Dan and Gary.
Northwood Plume 470, Euphoria 740, Captiva 510. Given some sort of a chance, Ladybird Blue 1320. First of all, at the 800-metre point, the long shot in front, Eloquent Whisper leads about 3 lengths now to Bichette. Then Preview in third placing, Euphoria taking off with Dream of the Dance, and now the runs are coming. Followed by Northwood Plume, Preview, Captiva and Dolbeat to the outside. 500 metres to go. It's Eloquent Whisper in front of Bichette. Northwood Plume runs into it with Euphoria and also Captiva on the outside. 400 to go and Northwood Plume took the lead. Euphoria out after it, then Wild Thunder, Captiva down the outside. Inside the 300, Northwood Plume kicked away. Euphoria can't go on. Wild Thunder, Captiva battling on. Northwood Plume in front for Damien Oliver. She's 2 lengths clear of Wild Thunder. Then came Captiva. Northwood Plume in front. Wild Thunder, they won't get to her. And Northwood Plume, a very pretty ride, Damien Oliver, and a very classy filly. Northwood Plume wins the Oaks, selected a half to Wild Thunder. Captiva in third, Denarani fourth.
Job after a long preparation. Wild Thunder at 16 to 1 was second. Captiva, stablemate of the winner, third, but pulled race.
Remus has very prominent dark blue and pink hoops and a pink cap, so he shouldn't be too difficult to pick up. Is out. Saracen in front. Will turn 2 lengths clear of Bon Pressure. Third placing our Stargate. Remus goes past it and then bent on winning. Further out on the track, Indy Raj from Sports Beat. 400 metres to go and Remus has loomed up on the outside of Saracen. Then our Stargate, Bon Pressure battling on, and they were followed by Indy Raj and Cedo Bridge running a race. Remus under pressure of the 200. Cedo Bridge is coming at it. Then Indy Raj and Bon Pressure. Cedo Bridge goes to Remus. Remus and Cedo Bridge. Remus is finding something like a good horse and he'll get home. Remus a half a length to Cedo Bridge and 3 away Indy Raj. Then came Sports Beat. They were followed in by...
But gee, he's just riding so well. Just can't seem to do anything wrong.
$1.50 and $1.20 approximately for
Thing that possibly could.
$1.50 and $1.20 approximately for
Thing that possibly could go wrong did go wrong, and he still won.
Yeah, he didn't have much luck on the run, did he? I mean, that often happens in those small fields when you draw wide. He got padded 3 deep the whole trip and then got attacked on.
A super horse. It's a very good horse. No, I won't tell you a secret. I don't want you to know that Lee Friedman thinks it's the best horse in the stable. So
well, can we look at the facts here?
Better than Lane and Mahogany.
Can we look at the facts here now? Potential, potential, Bruce, potential. That beats Cedo. De Remus is an up-and-coming horse, but De Remus has got something special, and I do think he's a horse of...
You're right, Max.
To be honest, in Cup and Railway Handicap, Ellerslie hosted the Auckland Classic, one of the country's most important weight-for-age races.
At the 600 in the Auckland Classic, and Solvit's travelling extra 3/4 to Western Red. On the inside to Ballpark, Lord Majestic. Then we've got Star Dancer, Skyfly's going to make its run wide, and Prince Zephyr into the straight, 450 to go, and it's Solvit lined up this Auckland Classic field by a length. On the outside, Western Red here sprinting now and exploding towards the leaders. Star Dancer, they're followed by Ballpark looking for racing room, but Star Dancer's kicked out, and it's away by 2 or 3 lengths over Solvit. Ballpark is getting clear late, but it's all over. At the 100, the Group 1 Auckland Classic going to Star Dancer with Grant Cooksby aboard. Just a flick of the stick over the shoulder, and Star Dancer 4 lengths at the line from Ballpark second, Lord Majestic third, then Solvit weakened to fourth.
The Auckland Classic continued an outstanding summer carnival for Grant Cooksby, who is based full-time in Sydney, but likes nothing better than riding in the Group 1 Telegraph Handicap.
Status a little bit deep around runners. Then we have the next Present Arms, crisp and clear back the outside of it, Lord Trident and Snap, she's the last as they travel up towards the 650, and Gypsy is the leader. Gypsy leads now from Atlantic Brave, who's away from the fence to challenge her on the outside. Deeper out, Panagold, Rough Harbour very wide to the turn, Furbolg, Rampage back and behind them, then Saxon Vale, Al Akbar into the straight though in the Telegraph, and here Atlantic Brave goes up to Gypsy, who fightens again, and then we have Panagold, Rampage in behind them. Al Akbar angled out for a run. Saxon Vale and Snapper held up back and behind them. It's Atlantic Brave. Rampage trying to get out. And then we've got Panagold. Saxon Vale can't get a crack. Outright, Lord Trident flying. Rampage in front. Lord Trident the top weight, and Saxon Vale the top. He's got it. Lord Trident, Tony Allen, victory salute at the line. Rampage. Saxon Vale and Snapper held up back and behind them. It's Atlantic Brave. Rampage trying to get out. And then we've got Panagold. Saxon Vale can't get a crack. Outright, Lord Trident flying. Rampage in front, Lord Trident.
At Trentham, the $250,000 Magic Millions Classic gave us a look at a young sprinter that carried the reputation of being New Zealand's best 2-year-old ever.
Racing in the Magic Millions. Slow out then was Michelob back a bit at the jump, and another to get back as well, Di Talento and Mercury of Michelob. Simply Superb's a fair way back coming up towards the corner as to Di Talento. They swing the corner now and he's in front, Almaze K. Almaze K straightens up about 3 to 4 lengths clear now from Magic McGinty. Kentucky back behind them. Paquin runs on. Santara out into the centres, getting home well then. Mercury Vapor. Philip Mercer working on Almaze K, but he's 6 lengths in front of Kentucky. Further away back behind them then we've got Mercury Vapor, but Almaze K, one of the best 2-year-olds we've ever seen in the land, draws right away, and Almaze K's taken the Ford New Zealand Magic Millions. Mercury Vapor, Kentucky. And he's in front, Almaze K. Almaze K straightens up about 3 to 4 lengths clear now from Magic McGinty. Kentucky back behind them. Paquin runs on. Santara out into the centres, getting home well then. Mercury Vapor. Philip Mercer working on Almaze K, but he's 6 lengths in front of Kentucky. Further away back behind them then we've got Mercury Vapor, but Almaze K, one of the best 2-year-olds we've ever seen in the land, draws right away, and Almaze K's taken the Ford New Zealand Magic Millions. Mercury Vapor, Kentucky.
And Durbridge has dropped out to last. 800 metres left to go. Brawny Spirit takes the lead by a neck on Eleanor. A length and a half Scalacci on the inside of Sequalo. 2 lengths to Hurricane Sky. Eleanor on the inside. Brawny Spirit by 2 lengths. Sequalo a length away then Scalacci. As they're making the home turn, 3 lengths further back. Hurricane Sky being followed by Fighter Bay. Brawny Spirit hanging off the tracker. Eleanor is the leader. Here comes Sequalo down the outside and Scalacci just behind them as they straighten over. Eleanor's in front, coming to the 250. Led over a length. Sequalo down the outside, trying to get to Eleanor, who's rider now drew the Weber. Sequalo coming at Eleanor in the final stages. Eleanor is still in front. He's holding in second place Sequalo and Scalacci, the great Ray. Look at Scalacci. Scalacci's going to win it. Scalacci grabbed the lead. Scalacci by a half a length in the Rubiton to Eleanor. Third Sequalo. They're followed by Fighter Bay, Hurricane.
Gelding. At the 200, Eleanor neck in front. Sequalo slowly but surely starting to come after him. And Scalacci poking back in the middle. Eleanor just in front of Scalacci making a late lunge. Eleanor in front. Scalacci's going to get up. He's grabbed them, the grey. Yes, Scalacci.
That's 15 wins from 28 starts for Scalacci. Ridden by Pat Payne, the Speed Machine started at 9 to 2. Second, Alanon at 7s.
This is the big one, the clash of Hariba, the short-priced favourite against the old champ Scalacci. Here are the approximate tote dividends. Scalacci showing at $6, might even get out a fraction to about $6.50. Runner-up in the Melbourne Cup might find it a little short at $12. Hariba between about $1.80 and $1.70 now on the Victorian TAB. Sequalo paying $7. Just about all in now. Time for us to go to Flemington to our caller, John Russell.
Scalacci's gone up. He's first up 2 divisions as they race down with 850 metres left to go, and down the flat side. Hariba as well, clear down there by about 3 lengths to Durbridge. Close up behind the Primacy, a length and a half. Paris Lane followed by Elkova, and over on the grandstand side, Sequalo is the leader out there from Scalacci, and just in behind them, Belzever, Spanish Mix coming into the picture. Blue Boss is in behind them, followed by Never Undercharged. They come down to the course proper. 500 metres left to go, and Hariba travelling sweetly down on the inside, led 4 lengths to Primacy, 4 lengths away Durbridge. Down the grandstand side, Sequalo is leading with Scalacci tackling him, and Spanish Mix is in behind them as they come to the 250. Hariba over on the inside is clear down there. Down the grandstand side, it's Sequalo and Scalacci, but Hariba's all on his own. He's going to bolt in, Hariba. He's a champion. Hariba will bolt in. He wins by 6 lengths. Spanish Mix is second, Scalacci third. Fourth home, Sequalo, followed by Primacy. Belzever, Blue...
Down the grandstand rail and Scalacci under a good hold, goes up to Sequalo, 2 to Spanish Mix, and they're clear now of Blue Boss and Belzever. Hariba over on the flat side and down the outside, Sequalo and Scalacci, and running on Spanish Mix. Hariba over on the fence in front. Yes, it's Hariba over on the inside. He explodes, Hariba. 5, 6 in front. Spanish Mix, Sequalo and Scalacci, but Hariba a world beater. Hariba wins the race by 5 lengths.
An awesome performance by Hariba, who was
by the Moonee Valley Racing Club.
Mix, but it's Hariba the leader, I think, at the 300. Marshall says, let's go, big fella, and Hariba the leader over on the flat side, nicely clear. It's Hariba well in front of Sequalo and Scalacci, but Hariba passes 100, a dazzling performance, a mile in front, and the brilliant Hariba scores brilliantly by 5. Spanish Mix, Scalacci just got third from Sequalo, Belzever, Primacy.
Mere words failed to do Hariba's win justice. The outside section of the Flemington track was definitely faster, yet Hariba came along the inside rail and absolutely destroyed his opposition with an exhibition of power sprinting that will live long in the memories of those fortunate enough to witness it. The acknowledged ratings expert Mark Reed claims this was the highest rating performance by any thoroughbred in Australia in almost a decade, matched only by our international champion Better Loosen Up in the 1991 Australian Cup.
Immature horse, and I believe today he's only 90% fit.
Really, and he didn't give the others a chance, did he?
No chance. You don't give nothing a chance from now on.
I hate comparing horses to champions that have been and gone, like such as Manicato, but you could say he's a Manicato from now on. I mean, he's a freak, mate. He's just one out of the box.
And just a tenth of a second outside the course record on dry ground, he could just be unbeatable this autumn.
What did you think of that, Joel? Well, it was the rebirth of another champion here. Hariba is the best sprinter since Vane and Manicato. Here he is in the Australia Stakes, a Moonee Valley hosted meeting at Flemington. He's in the put a gap of 2 or 3 lengths on the rest of the field. And bearing in mind, this is the best field assembled in Australia. For years, collectively, the 11 runners had won $12 million in stakes and won 26 Group 1 races. Now, there's Hariba, yesterday quoting someone as a definition of a champion being a great horse who demoralises and thrashes other great horses. Well, surely this is a living example of it. This is the best sprinter we've seen for years. He runs 1/10 of a second outside the record after being eased down. He wins by 5.5 lengths. Swap the sides of the straight, he would have shattered the record. Ridden out totally, he would have beaten the record. That's a sight that you won't forget in racing for a long time.
Well, you concur. Great sprinters of our time looking for the equal of that performance. I went back to Todman winning the Lightning Stakes, ending sprinter by 6 lengths. You look at Vane winning the Craven A Stakes, all up the Flemington Straight. Keith, I'd put a question to you. How much does going around a turn diminish the ability of Hariba?
Well, he can do that too. You know, he's a Moonee Valley winner, Max, but gee, he loves the straight. Mahogany is the only horse down the straight Mahogany is the only horse that he's ever ridden that you could have your house on first up.
Now, he will meet Hariba first up in the Lightning Stakes. Could he beat him?
I'll bet your house, not mine.
What do you think, Max?
It's a matter of price, Bruce. I don't know whether any horse could beat Hariba, but nevertheless, Hariba at 2's on, Mahogany at 5 to 1. I know where my money will be, but then again, I'm a little bit prejudiced when it comes to Mahogany over short courses.
The club tie.
Now, this is a star-studded field contesting today's CF4 Stakes. One of the best I've seen in the history of the race. CF4, line good, they're off, line good, they're off. And Hurricane Sky jump well, and Jern missed the start by a length, and was our Pompeii coming down the side. Blue inside a length and a half further back. Paris Lane followed by Jern, Oppressor, Innocent Kinger, and our Pompeii is last of all. Coming up to the 600-metre mark, and Blue Boss travelling along nicely in the leader. Led over a length to Hurricane Sky, being followed by Primacy. Scalacci's getting a lovely run on the inside. Just behind them, Bells of Ur. They're followed by Never Under Charge. Paris Lane back behind them. Jern as they straighten up. 400 to go. The leader is Blue Boss. On the outside, Hurricane Sky, and Scalacci getting in the clear. Is starting to run home very well as they come down to the 200. Hurricane Sky is coming at Blue Boss, and Scalacci got chopped off at that point and Never Under Charge. And Jern down the outside is going to beat them all. It's swapping them. Jern hit the front. Jern has raced away to a convincing win. The Melbourne Cup winner of last year wins the CF4 brilliantly. Jern is first. Hurricane Sky or Scalacci in a photo for second and third, followed by Blue Boss. Back behind by Blue Boss. Back behind them, Never Under Charge, Paris Lane, Innocent King, Bells of Ur.
This afternoon smashed the track record in winning the CF4 Stakes at Sandown.
Pulled to the centre of the track outside in Paris Lane. Scalacci trying to get out. It's Hurricane Sky going up quickly now to Blue Boss. Then further out on the track. Here he comes, Jern. Jern with a mighty run now, races up to Hurricane Sky. He ducked in, Jern took the lead from Hurricane Sky. Scalacci gets out late, but it's Jern. Jern does it at Talek and races away. Jern wins it by 3 lengths.
Ridden by Wayne Harris, the Melbourne.
Jern got off the fence, Paris Lane, and he's outside. Blue Boss at the 300, about a length in front. Scalacci trying desperately to get out of a pocket. Hurricane Sky racing up to Blue Boss. Scalacci chopped out of it, then Never Under Charge. Here's Jern. Here's Jern descending on them very quickly. The Cup winner raced to the front of the last 100, racing away from Hurricane Sky. Then came Scalacci, but it's all Jern. And Jern returns to the track brilliantly by 3 lengths. Photo the minus Hurricane Sky or Scalacci.
A stunning record-winning return by Jern, joining Comic Court, At Talac and Let's Elope, who'd won the Melbourne Cup and then the Orr Stakes.
He showed again today what a good horse he is, and
always quite frightened. You're
racing, I think, to see performances like that occasionally, and that was one of those extra special performances.
Jeune may not start again until the Australian Cup. Scalacci was a shade unlucky. Hurricane Sky
Stakes, and in the last 2 weeks we've seen Hariba absolutely brilliant at Flemington and Jeune brilliant at Sandown, and suddenly Keith Hillier, there is some excitement in the weight for age ranks. We've all been pretty... See you again, and one of the interesting things about Jeune, like Better Loosen Up, he seems to have come back from Japan better. A lot of horses go to Japan and struggle. Not this fellow.
Gentlemen, you're getting carried away again. That, of course, was Jeune at his best, and I do congratulate David Hayes in getting the best out of this English bull. But will he be able to keep him there? That is the question. As you pointed out...
Run where
you don't want to back Paris Lane to beat Jeune next start, do you?
Oh, no way. Nothing will beat Jeune next start if he reproduces that run.
Of course. You poor clowns. You'll be laying odds on. The horse will come out of the barriers 5 lengths last, and there'll be Paris Lane sitting in the box seat at about 5 to 1. Sure, I want to back Paris Lane.
I tell you what, off and running in the Guineas, Dry still last of all. Singer Blevik and Barishnikov is last of all as they come around the home turner. 500 metres left to go. Hurricane Sky moving up on the outside to Tackleson. Covered is still the leader as they set sail for Homer. And they're clear from Don Pasquale coming down the outside. Dry Humour back behind them, Barishnikov. And then Dennis Singer and Blevik's a long way back as they come to the 250. Hurricane Sky is joining St Covered as they come down past the 200. Hurricane Sky and Don Pasquale is down the outside. And Barishnikov is finishing very fast along the inside. St Covered tackled by Hurricane Sky and Barishnikov on the inside finishing solidly. Barishnikov on the inside takes a slight lead. Barishnikov has won the Guineas from Hurricane Sky. Ahead away third St Covered. Fourth home Don Pasquale.
Leader Hurricane Sky up to challenge him at the 400 metre mark. Wider out Don Pasquale and then Dry Humour, Barishnikov, and Blevik is last of all with 250 to go. St Covered and Hurricane Sky the leaders. Barishnikov going for the rail and Don Pasquale. St Covered and Hurricane Sky being tackled on the rail by Barishnikov. Barishnikov, St Covered, Hurricane Sky. A line of 3. Barishnikov, Hurricane Sky. Barishnikov got up on the rail and has won it from Hurricane Sky. A nose away third is St Covered.
and inspired. Well, next race in the Autumn Stakes, and Alistair Clark before returning to Sydney for the Rosehill Guineas and Derby.
I'll leave it there. I'll bet you Mahogany Max beats Hariba in the Lightning Stakes. Do you want to back that? Tip today reckons it's a good thing at odds at Flemington called Hariba. What sort of odds, Keith?
Oh, about 2 to 1 on, I think. I think probably.
I joked last week with you, Max, about Mahogany. I'd give him just a mad chance. I think he's too short at 9 to 2. He's probably an 8 or 10 to 1 chance, but he is brilliant first up.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly going to have my money on him. I'm not saying he's a good...
Side deeper out, Sequalo and Hariba 4 deep on their outside. Just about a line of 4 right across the track there. Elenon in behind them from Fighter Bay. Then Mahogany, and last of all, as they settle fully into stride, Auntie Mary. Running to the 500 metre mark now, and Hariba under a tight rein has gone up to join Sequalo, Keltrice, Brawny Spirit on the rail. 2 lengths behind them, then Elenon called on, and they're followed then by Mahogany under a bit of pressure at the 300 metre mark now, and it's on the outside, Hariba. He's calling on him to do something, sticking with him there. On the outside is Elenon. In fact, he's in trouble, Hariba. Elenon's claimed him, and Mahogany now, and Keltrice fighting back. No, Hariba. It's a shock. It's Mahogany dashing to the front, and Mahogany scores. Mahogany's beaten Elenon. Third is Keltrice.
A sensation. Elenon, Hariba's under pressure. He's under pressure now as Elenon goes up to Hariba, who's struggling. And here comes Mahogany down the outside. Elenon in front. Mahogany's got them. Mahogany's hit the front of the horse of the years. Come home to win. Mahogany first up.
Resuming from a spell, a great win by Mahogany, which started at 11 to 2. Second, Elenon at 20s, and third...
But none for Lee. He fixed that in the right race.
If you know what a jockey's feeling is on a horse in a race of that calibre, with 200 metres to go, you got no idea how hard he was trying to win and how much ground he was trying to reach for. You know, and that's the sign of a champion horse. I haven't had too many horses do that.
Hariba's loss, though, remained a mystery, even some time after the race. The club's vet reported...
You'll get beat, you know, one day. You know, we'll come back again.
Summing up the thoughts of everyone on dismounting.
He got a bit of class.
Good animal, isn't it?
Win any race in the land.
To win in Lightning Stakes, you know, with the horses won 2 derbies, and to beat the best sprinters around, and you know, Hariba and that, he had to be the champion that he is, and he showed that today.
Surprisingly,
he's a great first-up horse.
Come on, Mahogany versus Jeune, and maybe Hariba in the futurity. Who are you going for?
I think I'd have to stick with Mahogany.
Mahogany.
You turn, Cat. You turn, Cat.
He's never
Horse
stuck
of
in
the
his
year.
life, has he, Max?
Max Jern, I'm definitely a Mahogany man.
You've
Always
got a
have
shaky
been.
hold on the president of the fans.
As a sprinter, I've never had any doubts about Mahogany. I can't believe that you feel that that was the real Hariba. Hariba did not produce his best last Sunday. I think his best
is done. The Lightning Stakes is the first leg of a Triple Crown for sprinters in Melbourne. However, it takes a special kind of horse to win all three, because the second leg occurs just 6 days later at Caulfield, the Group 1 Oakley Plate.
And Acclata Bay, Royal Discard and Carptingly last of all. 8 lengths covered them, coming up towards the turn. Barcara Sequalo, the 2 leaders. From Daring Ombre, Procrastinate, waiting for the run, Kiltreese. Alanon wide out, coming around them, and then the heavyweight. And Poetic King a fair way back round the turn. Sequalo, Barcara turn together. 2 lengths to Kiltreese. Poetic King getting up on the inside. Alanon, the heavyweight, are winding up out wide. Sequalo at the 150, tackled by Kiltreese. Poetic King is barging through the heavyweight wide out with Carptingly. Sequalo grabbed by Kiltreese. The heavyweight coming in. Carptingly is flying. It'll get there. Carptingly has flashed home and has won it.
A fitting reward here.
Carptingly started second favourite at 5 to 1. Next stop, the Newmarket Handicap.
Tom should hold up.
Mercedes-Benz at Blue Diamond Stakes. We've got time for another quick tote call. Number 1 Padre is still at 14. 7 to 2 Solid Flying Spur, now challenging for favouritism. 7 to 1 Shaded from Sydney. Zedrich is showing $4.10, just over to 1. Principality showing $11.
Stand by for a start.
Way back again, hanging around the home turn, and then Principality, Donar, Tuscany Flyer, led 2 lengths into the straight. Zedrich had to check across his heels, comes out after him now. Tennessee Magic running a good race, and then Padre, and further back Principality, Flying Spur, Tuscany Flyer in front. Zedrich coming at him, Tuscany Flyer from Zedrich. Here's Principality swamping Tuscany Flyer, and Principality drives away. Principality bolts in. Second with the Flying Spur. I think Tuscany Flyer just held third in a photo.
Perfection.
It's Tuscany Flyer in front. Here's Principality from last. Principality storming home from last in the field. He'll win the Diamond. Principality
started at 8s. Second, the favourite, Flying Spur at 13 to 4.
There is a long...
And the first of a big double for Rod Griffiths.
Said to me, this could be the race of the season, and you're going to see it live right in your own lounge room on the wide world of sports. It's the Futurity Stakes. Number 1 is Jern, showing exactly $2.90 now on the tote, odds of about 15 to 8. Scalacci, one of the Freedman runners, is at 11 to 2, 40 charge, $2.80, odds of about 7 to 4. Mahogany, trained by Freedman as well.
Light racing. And the first to jump, Spanish Mix. Compact field coming down the side, 850 metres left to go. Scalacci, the leader, led by 3/4 of a length on Mahogany, and just in behind them, never under charge. Snapper's getting a bit further back as Soho Square, and Jern last of all. That's the order, 650 metres out. Scalacci making play, led nearly a length on Mahogany. A half a length around the outside, never under charge is going forward, being followed by Snap, who's getting a beautiful run on the inside. Close in behind them, making ground, Spanish Mix there, followed by Pride of Rancho, Soho Square. Jern is still last of all as they round the home turn. Mahogany's ranged up on the outside to tackle Scalacci as they set sail for home. Jern is a mile back down the outside, never under charge. Mahogany's hit the front. Scalacci battling on well, followed by Spanish Mix, and back behind them Snappers coming home well. It's Scalacci. Scalacci's fighting back gallantly on the inside. Scalacci's hit the front close to home. Scalacci hangs on. Jern flew for second. Scalacci from Jern. Mahogany I think third, just ahead of Spanish Mix. Never under charge. Snap behind them. Soho.
And Mahogany up level now with Scalacci around the turn, never under charge behind them. Then Spanish Mix and Snap and Jern spotting Mahogany 5. At the top of the straight now, Dipman goes for Mahogany. Scalacci sticks on very gamely. It's Mahogany about a neck in front. Scalacci's fighting back. Scalacci again with his head in front of Mahogany. Wider out, then Spanish Mix and Jern. It's Scalacci in front of Mahogany. Jern motoring, but Scalacci's won it again. Scalacci's won it. I think Jern got second from Mahogany in a photo.
This was one of racing's most emotional moments in season 94-95. Scalacci had been a Group 1 competitor now for 4 successive seasons, though he never...
Beautiful ride. When they went through the first half mile in 49 something, I knew he was going to be pretty hard to beat.
Yes, and he fell into 4th place today. Scalacci delighting the big crowd. Jern, the eye-catching Australian Cup run with Mahogany out.
He's the modern-day Gunsynd. You know, he's got the same sort of crowd appeal. People love him.
And the big second up or holding him back to save him for later. But whatever it is, the twine hasn't met so far. And the race was won by Scalacci. The public loved it. Perhaps it should have been won by Jern, David.
I thought June should have won. Scalacci, a great effort. I honestly, I saw him on...
And $2.80 each of two for St Covert and Hurricane Sky. Interesting to hear Brendan saying... And
Select field of 3-year-olds over the 1,800 metres. St Covert's had it his own way out in front. He's 3/4 now, maybe a half in front. Hurricane Sky edging a little bit closer. One away, Punctual, hard ridden. The Golden Greek coming into it very strongly, and Baryshnikov waiting on the fence. Coming up towards the turn, Hurricane Sky got up level with St Covert, and these two good 3-year-olds come round the bend together. The Golden Greek threatening on their outside. Baryshnikov waiting as he did in the Guineas. Hurricane Sky and St Covert down towards the 200 together. 1.5 Baryshnikov, the Golden Greek, but Hurricane Sky is the leader. St Covert sticks on gamely. Baryshnikov can't reach them at the moment. Hurricane Sky in front of St Covert. Baryshnikov, Hurricane Sky, St Covert, a drive to the line, a beauty. Hurricane Sky in the centres, one at a nose. Hurricane Sky from St Covert and Baryshnikov, a fantastic finish. Ramley running on for 4.
From either St Covert or Baryshnikov.
A terrific ride by Simon Marshall, and trainer Gerald Ryan will now set Hurricane Sky for the Alistair Clark in a fortnight.
Straight 1,200 metres, the Newmarket handicap, in which Hariba has been very heavily backed with bookmakers. You're lucky to get yours for around about 2.30 at the moment, which is odds of about 5-4. Never Under Charge is a scratching. TAB number 2, Poetic King. The Lee Friedman representative will appreciate this little bit of give in the 8-1. All Our Mob from Gay Waterhouse's stable in Sydney, very well fancied. Just sweating a touch is at 12-1. Matthews the jockey, Carptingley at 8-1. Cut Up Rough representing David Hayes. Mick Dittman, the jockey, in
Sydney. Carptingley's a long way back with Sham Kaya, and down the grandstand side, 4 of them out there. The heavyweight leads the way from Poetic King, followed by Numsing and Virinaria. 400 metres left to go, and Hariba has taken the lead about a length to Royal Discard. Keltrice is starting to run on pretty well, followed by Moss Rocket, and back behind them then came All Our Mob from a long way back. Hariba being tackled by Moss Rocket as they come down with 100 metres left to go. Hariba is the leader, Moss Rocket, and here comes All Our Mob. All Our Mob is swapping them. All Our Mob hit the front, and All Our Mob is going along the line to win the Newmarket. All Our Mob wins it. I think Hariba might be second and nose to Moss Rocket third. Fourth home is Royal Discard, followed by Cut Up Rough and Carptingley.
Further back in the field, then at the head of the other horses, I Love Sydney. Hariba down towards the 300, kicked out by a length and a half. Out on the grandstand, Poetic King and the heavyweight are battling it out, but I think it's the flat at the 200 metre mark. It's Hariba under the whip. Moss Rocket is coming after him quickly. Hariba in front, he has to fight. He's a half a length to Moss Rocket, and All Our Mob is swapping them. All Our Mob flies over the top, and All Our Mob gets up to win it. All Our Mob from a photo. Hariba, I think, second from Moss Rocket.
The ratings experts declared that if Hariba ran right up to his form, nothing could beat him. The truth about this year's Newmarket is that Hariba ran right up to his form, and All Our Mob beat him anyway.
All Our Mob started at 16s, second Hariba at evens, and third Moss.
Paid dividends. A winning combination. Hariba just couldn't carry the big weight on the track that was not rock hard and do it for so long. He was sitting there waiting.
Stances to suit him. They can't overcome a little bit of adversity.
Could you believe, Max, that Hariba wouldn't win one of the Triple Crown races, the Lightning, the Oakley, or the Newmarket, after he's winning the old William Reid on that Australia Day?
Well, punters and punters on course all think that he is unbeatable. Ken Biggers. Old Marvel is at 6.5-1. Jeune at 2's on, $1.50 for $1 on the tote. Star Dancer getting out on the tote to about 9-1. Similar price in the betting ring. He's got a good chance. And Starstruck, the Miller family horse, is showing $18 on the TA.
And Innocent King is last.
How's he done?
He's strong. Great start to Oppressor. And Innocent King is approaching the home turn. 700 metres left to go, and Solbit has dashed away. Solbit about 4 lengths to our Pompeii, half a length away, moving up on the outside, Durbridger. And then came Station Hand finishing on, and they're followed by the Fanablet of the others as they pack up a little as they come into the straight with about 450 metres left to go. Solbit near the inside, about to be tackled by Durbridge, who's come with a big run down the outside, and Durbridge has taken the lead. Now here comes Jeune from a long way back and winding his run as they come to the 300. Durbridge is the leader from Station Hand, Starstruck, and Jeune, the mighty Jeune, coming down the outside with a tremendous burst of speed as they come past the 200. Station Hand, the leader, Starstruck, and Jeune is now under pressure. The Western Australian mare, Starstruck, has taken the lead with 100 to go. Jeune is trying hard. Starstruck in front of Jeune. Starstruck wins the cup from Jeune. Station Hand is third. Fourth home is Durbridge, followed by Star Dancer.
The 400, Solve It, punctured. Durbridge went straight past him. Durbridge in front now. Station Hand issues the threat. And 3 lengths back is Zernig starting to come with Starstruck. Station Hand and Durbridge at the 200. Lead 2 lengths to Starstruck and Zern, who are closing. Now Starstruck hits the front. Starstruck in the centre, the leader from Zern, Station Hand. Zern coming after Starstruck. Starstruck, Zern, a bobbing go. Starstruck has won it.
This surely was one of the upsets of the year, with the good Western Australian head.
Starstruck has won it.
12 months.
So, a real ladies' day, Gay having won the Newmarket, and Kay Miller, the trainer of Starstruck, ironically, Gay originally...
The run of the race, the only excuse you could put up, Bruce, that he went in a little underprepared with 2 1400-metre runs under his belt.
Here's Zern coming now. Now, Zern's got him covered now. Now we'll find out where is his enthusiasm to win.
Yes, but Keith, don't you agree, the preparation, he'd only had the 1400-metre run going in.
I think that is what mattered most at the finish. He's a very good horse. He's obviously not an...
For his 3UZ's Brian Martin.
And Blevik has hit the front now. He drew a half length in front of Hurricane Sky, a length further back, Baryshnikov. It's Blevik, the leader. On the outside, Baryshnikov starting to close. He's calling on Blevik. Baryshnikov coming at him. Blevik is answering. No, Blevik knows Baryshnikov.
The outstanding colt will now...
Both hard at work, Dittman and Marshall. It's Blevik about a neck in front of Hurricane Sky. Baryshnikov closing at every stride now. Blevik the leader at the 100. Half a length, Baryshnikov answering the whip now. It's Baryshnikov and Blevik at drive to the line. Blevik has won it.
Mick Dittman simply outrode them. Blevik back to his best. Blevik retaining the race at 11 to 8, beating Baryshnikov. The pair will clash in Sydney's Classics, but Hurricane Sky...
Stanley Wooden Stakes. It was the showdown of the speed machines, with Hariba sent out the favourite.
250-metre mark, he extends. 2 in front of Mahogany. Dittman throwing everything at Mahogany, then Scalacci. Now Marshall about to field for the weapon. Hariba is a length in front. Mahogany starting to close on the outside. Hariba answers the call, though. Oh, he's back the champ today, Hariba.
After some indifferent performances, the champ was...
Hariba out for revenge in the Stanley Wooden Sprint.
It's Hariba, the leader at the 200-metre mark. He's a length and a half in front. Mahogany's astern of him with Scalacci. Hariba in front. Marshall calling on him. He's holding Mahogany. Hariba under the whip in the run home, and Hariba is back. Hariba all the way.
Hariba back to his best after a virus, and jockey Simon Marshall knew well before most that Hariba would win.
When he won the South Corp in the Australian Stakes, there's a bit of couch grass up the back behind the gates there with the big white fences, and it's so long, you know, and well, when he won those 2 races, he put his head down and tried to have a pick. You know, he's just so relaxed, he's that type of horse, and when he got beat, he never did that. Today, he's put his head down and tried to have a pick of the couch grass, and I turned around to the boys behind the gates and I said, well, you're not going to beat him today.
Let's hope he enjoys the grass in Sydney. Hariba's off now for the George Ryder and Doncaster after today's great...
Hariba. Now, everyone's saying he's back. His run last week was every bit as good as his run yesterday. He failed to dominate these horses yet. Look, I love Hariba. He's a terrific horse, but his run in the Newmarket was outstanding. Why is everyone saying, oh, he's back? I mean, there was no difference, in my opinion, between that run yesterday and the run the week before.
Well, what's the point?
For this run yesterday.
He's almost unbeatable, very difficult to beat when a race is like the one we're watching now, where he can dominate it, where he can set the pace, where he can explode away, where he's not under pressure from lighter-weighted opposition in handicap races. In a race like yesterday, there's virtually no stopping him. 7 runs down the straight, I think, for 5 wins, Bruce. It's a pretty good record.
The point I'm saying is you got to...
No, that's relevant, Bruce, that's relevant. But don't forget, Hariba beat a couple of pretty fair horses and beat them well. He's a top-class racehorse.
No question about that. Look, we're nearly out of time.
Simon Marshall said when he gets to the Doncaster, they won't see which way he went.
He won't win the Doncaster. He won't get 1,600.
Well,
The first being the Skyline Stakes at Canterbury, where New Zealand's glamour-cold Our Maizkay was pitted against Australia's unbeaten juvenile Strategic.
Heads a turn for home, and Our Maizkay, the leader. Strategic about to get into the clear. Here he comes now. It's the moment of truth for the slipper favourite, Strategic. He races up to Our Maizkay. They've immediately put 4 lengths on Kidman's Cove. Strategic put his head in front. Our Maizkay fighting on, but the Sydney Colt is too good. Strategic, he's drawing away, and he'll win the slipper too.
The best of the fillies was undoubted, with the major event being the semi-classic Canterbury Guineas. The short-priced favourite was Danewin, who had won his first 2 runs back at 1,200 and 1,400 metres for Shane Dye. For the Guineas, the Hong Kong rider Jackie Shea was back in town.
It's St. Covered and Stony Bay. Dane Win, 3 deep, is now looming up, and Persian Flyer right around the outside, followed by Allegro and Perfect World. In the straight, the leader Stony Bay, tackled by Dane Win and Persian Flyer. Persian Flyer on the outside is running the race of his life. Persian Flyer coming at Dane Win. Look at Shah's K down the outside. He's coming home right over the top of them, Shah's K. Shah's K went past those leaders like they were tied to the fence at any old odds. Shah's K in the boil over wins the Guineas. In the straight, the leader Stony Bay, tackled by Dane Win and Persian Flyer. Persian Flyer on the outside is running the race of his life. Persian Flyer coming at Dane Win. Look at Shah's K down the outside. He's coming home right over the top of them, Shah's K. Shah's K went past those leaders like they were tied to the fence at any old odds. Shah's K in the boil over wins the Guineas.
A huge upset result here, with everyone bar the connections of rank outsider Shah's K reduced to
Dane Win.
Following week at Rosehill, our Maze K backed up in the Todman Slipper Trial. But leading Sydney trainer John Hawkes had another surprise waiting for the Kiwi Flyer.
Into the straight, Shaded and Tuscany Flyer, the 2 leaders, and they straighten up well clear of our Maze K. Exclusive Halo under the whip, followed by Zephyrs, who'll want to shake a leg, and then Octagonal pull to the extreme outside and starting to wind up at the 200. Tuscany Flyer headed Shaded. Here's the big bloke from the Shaky Isles, our Maze K, and Octagonal on the extreme outside, but our Maze K the leader. Octagonal cutting him down with every stride. Octagonal coming home the better and got there on the line.
Octagonal's win attracted rave reviews, with veteran racing men unable to recall such an inexperienced 2-year-old turning in a performance of that calibre.
Björn, the Melbourne Cup winner, is an odds-on favourite, getting out a little to $1.70. Durbridge $8.50, $26 the Phantom, $6.50 Air Seattle, $1. Captain Court is out. Starstruck $9 and $21 for Stony Bay.
And first to break that line, Stony Bay and Durbridge, and who's going to lead? There's nothing between them in the early part. Phantom last about 8 off the lead. Stony Bay in front at the 600 mark by a little more than a length on Durbridge, and they're sprinting now. Air Seattle's in 3rd place, followed by Starstruck. Jern on the fences looking for the way out, followed by Corregidor, and then Spiritual Star and well back Quick Ransom and Irish Rort as they turn. Stony Bay in full flight at the top of the straight, led by more than a length to Durbridge, who wants to drift off under pressure. Air Seattle wide out, starting to run on, and Dittman is now starting to wind Jern up. He's getting through between horses, and here he comes. Jern is out after Stony Bay. Air Seattle on the outside, running on gamely. Stony Bay still in front. Dittman throwing everything at Jern, who's lunging on the outside. Stony Bay, Jern, Stony Bay. Stony Bay has lasted to win the round vet by a nose to Jern.
Certainly an improver. Gay Waterhouse has him, and he scored at 15 to 1. Jern has now been second in this, as well as the Futurity and Australian Cup at his last 3 starts.
Max, I keep feeling, and maybe John can comment, that it does prove that our weight for age horses at the moment, whilst they're good, they're certainly not great.
Go ahead, John. What's your opinion on that? Yeah, well, I still think June's a very, very good horse. I think he'll be even better suited when the races become a little bit longer, Bruce. But in saying that, yes, I think they're an even lot of horses.
I don't think Jern is a backable proposition because an even lot of...
Bring him back! On the side, Ladies' Way, followed by Aragen and Arborea. Flitter second last and ridden along, and Auntie Mary is last. Says Door, the leader, over Voracative, 2 lengths away to Lander, and then Centile, Moment's Pleasure, 1 off the fence, gets a chance today, followed closely by Viminaria as they turn for home. Northwood Plume is trying to angle off the rail. Light Up the World on the outside, flat to the boards, but is running on gamely. In the straight, 300 out, Princess Door, Voracative, to Lander joining in with Moment's Pleasure on the extreme outside, followed by Centile. Light Up the World is running on very gamely. Moment's Pleasure and Talander are fighting it out. Flitter on the fence is about to fly, and his Aragen jumping out of the ground. Moment's Pleasure, Talander. Aragen is lunging. Flitter got right through on the fence, and Flitter got up to win the Winfield by a breath from either Aragen or Moment's Pleasure. Trying to angle off the rail. Light Up the World on the outside, flat to the boards, but is running on gamely. In the straight, 300 out, Princess Door, Voracative, Talander joining in with Moment's Pleasure on the extreme outside, followed by Centile. Light Up the World is running on very gamely. Moment's Pleasure and Talander are fighting it out. Flitter on the fence is about to fly, and his Aragen jumping out of the ground. Moment's Pleasure, Talander. Aragen is lunging. Flitter got right through on the fence, and Flitter got up to win the Winfield by a breath from either Aragen or Moment's Pleasure.
This group... He gets the prize. She'll pay $10 for the win and $2.90 for the place.
Gee, Flitter was a run yesterday, wasn't she? Coming from what seemed to be a hopeless position in the Winfield Classic. She was second last. We're out of time, so we've got to run through this quickly. Is strategic value at 2 to 1 max?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think?
I think he'll...
Well, let's have a look at their tote prices. Number 1, Blevick, the winner of the Victoria Derby. David Hayes has brought him up to Sydney for the race. He's showing $5.20 now. Win the Local Star, ridden by the Hong Kong jockey Jackie Che, is at $4.70. Varishnikov, another local, is favourite. Jimmy Cassidy, the jockey, showing $3.60. He's favourite. Needs a little bit of luck from his wide, and then he'll be hard to beat. Number 5, Shaskay, the winner of the Canterbury Guineas, $10.
The whip, and back at the tail is Shaskay as they come to the 800 mark. Roadworthy coming back to them, led by 5 to Barishnikov, who's left in second place. He's going to give Dane Win a lovely cart up, a length away Allegro, and then Ram Lee, Persian Flyer, followed by River Ruin, striking Centane. Blevick is well back and making heavy weather of it. Fewer chosen is right off the track, and Taradu is in bother near the fence as they come around the turn. Roadworthy tackled by Barishnikov on the outside, 2 lengths away Dane Win, who might get a rails run here. Yeah, there's plenty of room as they turn for home. Barishnikov, the leader. Dane Win getting right up on the fences, out after the grey. Down the outside, here comes Shaskay. Can he make it the Guineas double? Dane Win burst to the lead at the 200 mark with Jackie Chair going for home. Shaskay in second place, labouring a bit, and Dane Win has burst clear 100 out. Shaskay, nothing if not game, is trying his heart out, but a perfect ride by Jackie Chair. 10 out of 10. Dane Win beats Shaskay. Taradu, a big run for third. He was never out of trouble. Then Ram Lee, Barishnikov, Persian Flyer, and Allegro, and Roadworthy last in the Rosehill Guineas.
What a performance.
The money at 4s, Taradu, an excellent Derby trial. Then the big one.
Milrich into it later, but what about the Rosehill Guineas? I mean, it was a great ride as it turned out by Jackie Shea. Dane Win.
Yes, I think the best Derby trial of the race. I'm a great admirer of Dane Win, always have been. I can't catch Jackie, though. Every time I'm on Jackie, he gets beat. Every time I gamble against him, he wins. But I don't know.
The George Ryder Stakes has one of the best fields ever assembled. Heading the betting in the Wait for Age event, Victorian sprinter Hariba. Despite is hardly a sure bet, though, with Newmarket winner All Our Mob, Rough Habit, Scolaci, Brave Warrior and Horse of the Year Mahogany making up an impressive and expensive field.
Now, Pens out forms their under-starters orders for the Group 1 George Ryder Stakes. Starter onto his in the George Ryder. They look good. Mahogany, the inside runner. Couple of, but now they're set and they're followed by Brave Warrior. A good gap to Rough Habit, lengths away to Lesto, and they're well spread out at the 1,000 mark, and Hariba took over. Hariba went to the lead by 2.5 to Scolaci, and a half away Mahogany settling better. A length to Cut Up Rough on the outside of Pharaoh, 2 to Big Dreams, a half to March Hare at the 800 mark. 2.5 then to Star Dancer, followed by All Our Mob, a gap to Navy Seal. Brave Warrior giving them a big start. A long way back is Rough Habit and tailed off to Lesto. 600 out, Hariba led the George Ryder field. In front by a bit more than 2 lengths to Scolaci on the outside of Mahogany. There's Pharaoh whipping up 3 deep, followed by Cut Up Rough. March Hare Carter deep on the turn, and then Big Dreams and Star Dancer, followed by All Our Mob, and Brave Warrior is now taken to the extreme outside. He's going to have 1 dash in the straight. 300 out, Hariba the leader. Pharaoh grabbing him now behind those Scolaci, March Hare, Brave Warrior right down the outside with All Our Mob, but Hariba kicked. He's clear and going strongly. 100 out from Pharaoh with Brave Warrior and All Our Mob down the outside, but Hariba's in no danger. It's Hariba's George Ryder. Hariba scored a brilliant win over March Hare. Third's close.
In one of the less fortunate...
Hare, third's close. Pharaoh or Brave Warrior. Then Big Dreams, who ran a great race for Brian Mayfield Smith, followed by Mahogany, Scolaci, Star Dancer, then Colours
is All Our Mob. But there was one horse in it today. His name was Hariba. He gets the prize. He'll pay $4.90 and $2.20. Second, number 11, March Hare, is 20. Second, number 11, March Hare, will pay $6 exactly. I think number 13.
Yeah, third's close.
Paddy Payne on Hariba at 15-4 over March Hare, and Brave Warrior Mahogany, the unplaced favourite.
Like Max tipping Mahogany that got us the 4-1. 39 winners of Group 1 races collectively in this field. Max, and Hariba led from go to woe.
No, it wouldn't have been Lloyd Williams. He acted well in blinkers, but what a great horse Hariba is.
Oh, he's a sensational. He was a horse that was...
Certainly wouldn't have beaten Hariba, who is a most exciting horse, there's no question about that. And if you can win the Doncaster, you've got to say that he's close to a champion.
Happenings in Australian racing for the season. Hariba ran a race record here, but returned a positive swab after this win, leaving stewards with little option but disqualify him and promote March Hare to become the winner. March Hare's been a consistent performer in the $1 million BMW.
Stony Bay the leader, a length on Trista Love, Royal Tiara third, Jern 3/4 away on the outside, about 2 to Irish Rort and Taradu together, followed by Shaskay on the inside of Starstruck and 2 to Air Seattle. 600 out as they near the turn. Stony Bay the leader, Trista Love is under pressure now in second spot, so is Royal Tiara third. Jern is now being wound up by Harris, 3 deep on the turn into the straight, followed by Irish Rort and then Taradu and Shaskay as they turn for home. Stony Bay the leader is clear of Trista Love. Now Harris pops the burning question to Jern. Jern is coming after Stony Bay, rounds him up quickly at the 200 mark. Jern takes a narrow lead over Stony Bay, who's fighting back, and they're clear of Taradu. Jern's ahead in front. Stony Bay is coming again. Jern might be turning it up. Stony Bay fighting back after being headed, and you wouldn't believe it, Stony Bay has come again to win over Jern, who looked 4s on in the straight.
Same two.
Third's close. Royal Tiara, Taradu and Starstruck wideouts. At the head of the others, Irish.
One excuse.
5:30 and the odds the same on the Victorian tote. Stony Bay winning race 4 at Rosehill. Shane Dye booting at home. Jern again.
After yesterday, the big drifter was Millrich from 7 to 2 to 10s. I guess with Strategic, he might have come in at one stage after Millrich to even 6 to 4, but out to 2 to 1. Our Maze K has held his position. Octagonal is 4 to 1, and Rivard.
The barrier draw threw the betting markets into further disarray when Strategic and Our Maze K drew the 2 outside barriers. With
to $4.50 on the tote now. Our Maze K really big odds on the tote at $12. Octagonal is paying $5.50. Number 4, Prince of $7, just getting out on the tote a little. Flying Spur at $21. Danny Boy at $17 on $8.
On the slipper, and Strategic and Our Maze K on the extreme outside are away brilliantly over Rustic Lady. Millrich is scooting through and is going to lead. Shaded showing plenty of early dash, followed by Zephyrs and then Tuscany Flyer. Kidman's Cove, Zed Rich on the fence in a pretty handy spot. Rivada's behind a big bunch of leaders in the early stages. Further back, Exclusive Halo. Strategic now goes back to be midfield, coming around the first turn, followed by Flying Spur. At the head of the others, Rustic Lady, then Octagonal, Principality, and last of all is Furicao. 700 out Shaded, got to the lead over Our Maze K. A length away, Daney Boy, Zephyrs off the track, Millrich on the fence, followed by Tuscany Flyer. Then Kidman's Cove, Rivada's in the middle of the pack as they come around the turn. Zedrich on the fence with nowhere to go, followed by Exclusive Halo, and Strategic is carted at least 8 wide on the turn into the straight. Our Maze K cantered to the lead, straightening up. Our Maze K is clear by more than a length to Millrich, who's going after him. Zedrich is bullocking into the clear, followed by Flying Spur and Kidman's Cove. Our Maze K clear with 100 to go. Millrich, the filly, is coming after him quickly and getting between them. Flying Spur, and look at Octagonal jumping out of the ground. Flying Spur hit the front. Flying Spur wins the slipper. Flying Spur for Glenn Boss over Octagonal, which jumped out of the ground. Millrich is going after him. Zedrich is bullocking into the clear, followed by Flying Spur and Kidman's Cove. Our Maze K clear with 100 to go. Millrich, the filly, is coming after him quickly and getting between them. Flying Spur, and look at Octagonal jumping out of the ground. Flying Spur hit the front. Flying Spur wins the slipper. Flying Spur for Glenn Boss over Octagonal, which jumped out of the ground. Third's either Millrich or Our Maze K. Zedrich is also close up, folled by Prince of
Glenn Boss, I should say.
Give it a ridden it,
and 3 slippers in a row to Lee Friedman as Flying Spur, who'll pay $22.40 on the tote and $6.20.
I'll say it's just no thrill.
Yeah, well, last night he never had a ride in the slipper. Jimmy Cassidy got disqualified for 6 months, and his misfortune was Glenn Boss's good fortune. He got the ride on Flying Spur, and he gave Lee Friedman his 3rd successive slipper, having won with Dan as he was ridden quietly back from one alley.
The John Hawkes trained Octagonal with Millrich 3rd, and while Friedman the John Hawkes trained Octagonal with Millrich 3rd. And while Friedman made it as
Flying Spur had drifted out to 25 to 1. Octagonal and Millrich.
14s to 25s on the day, so it was a bookie slipper, and Octagonal's run was sensational.
Well, I thought there were 3 fantastic runs outside of a winner, Octagonal, Strategic, and Our Maze K. They were brilliant. And what might come out of this slipper that I don't think has in recent years, we might see 3 or 4 horses that go on to be top-class older horses.
Yeah, sure, look.
Okay, there's the favourite, Dane Win, Jackie Che from Hong Kong. What a moment for him. In Hong Kong, Levick into $9. Stony Bay showing now at $5.50. Getting out, everyone's doubtful about him on the heavy track, and that's why he's blown a little bit. $2.30 now for Dane Win, more in line with his price in the betting ring. Number 4, Baryshnikov at $11. Do is out to $11. He won the Gosford Guineas in the wet. Ivory's Irish likes dead tracks. He's at $12. But
the first out, Persian Fly, the 1100 mark, Stony Bay, taken on now by Baryshnikov on the outside, who's serving it up to him, and Baryshnikov takes a narrow lead over Stony Bay. 2.5 to Persian Fly, a Dane winners fourth on the fence, fewer chosen endangered species. 700 out as they near the turn. Again, Stony Bay drew clear of Persian Fly, a Dane win on the fence, followed by fewer chosen. Baryshnikov dropping off quickly, then Ivory's Irish, followed by Blevik, who's strung up for a moment near the fence. Further back as they come around the turn, Ramlee, followed by Turradoo and River Ruin. Into the straight, Stony Bay allowed to drift out about 4 off the fence as well clear. Now Jackie Chair's not going to bother about the cutaway. He's come to the outside on Dane Win, and look at Blevik getting up inside the pair of them, and Ivory's Irish further out. What a race in the Derby. At the 200 it's Blevik, Dane Win, Ivory's Irish, Stony Bay's gone. Blevik, Dane Win, Ivory's Irish on the outside. Dane Win and Ivory's Irish have come away. They're going to fight it out. Ivory's Irish and Dane Win, they're both pretty tight as they come to the line. Ivory's Irish won the Derby. A terrific performance by a head to Dane Win. Now Blevik will be third, I think, in front of Ramlee. Dane Win and Ivory's Irish have come away. They're going to fight it out. Ivory's Irish and Dane Win, they're both pretty tight as they come to the line. Ivory's Irish won the Derby. A terrific performance by a head to Dane Win.
Officially first in the Derby. Dane Win, as he was in the Victoria Derby, officially second, and the Victorian Derby winner Blevik outstayed by the other two over the last 100 metres in third place. The numbers 7, 3 and 1. And with the winner now is our clerk of the...
The brilliant Octagonal was widely regarded as unlucky in the Golden Slipper Stakes, and this son of Cambridge stud's New Stallion Zabeel was favoured to make amends in the AJC Sires Produce Stakes.
To the turn, Exclusive Halo is just the leader. Zedrich going up to almost join him on the turn. On the fence, Arasi as they straighten up, followed by Martinets, and then Burrito, and Strategic has now popped the big question as they come over the rise, and his Octagonal taken to the extreme outside. Coming to the 200 mark, and Zedrich is just the leader from Exclusive Halo. Here they come now, Strategic, Octagonal, and Show of Force. Little Show of Force is squeezing through in the centre. Show of Force and Octagonal hit the lead from Strategic. Show of Force and Octagonal. Isolde coming late on the inside as they hit the line. Octagonal, Isolde. Isolde has lunged and right on the line. Might have got up to beat Octagonal, but there's little in it. A fitting
compensation for Octagonal, who appeals as the 2-year-old colt most likely to train on next season. Octagonal...
After his hard campaign, and I think Gary Willis was pretty happy with Jearn.
Oh, Jearn looked magnificent. I know.
But Durbridge, on the other hand, has come in from $21 to $17. Jearn out to 2 to 1, still favourite. Or as I speak, I notice he's back into $2.90. They can't make up. TAB number 6 is out of point to $9.50. Calm Harbour, TAB number 7 is at 11. Dane Win showing at $4.50, and he might firm a fraction.
He's coming over to release the field in the Cathay Pacific Queen Elizabeth. The half to Telesto as they come to the crossing. Durbridge the leader. Lamour got to second. Third, Dane Win on the outside of All Our Mob, followed by Pharaoh. 3 deep, Mapperley Star on the fence. Sky Watch being pushed along, followed by March Hare, who's about 7 off the lead. Further back, Rough Habit, Jearn on the fence. A gap to Salcantay, Voting and Telesto, and something's gone amiss with Calm Harbour. He's dropped out. A distant last. Into the straight in the Queen Elizabeth. Durbridge the leader in the Queen Elizabeth. Durbridge the leader over Lamour. In third place, Dane Win, who gets his chance, followed by All Our Mob, then Sky Watch, Pharaoh, Mapperley Star, and March Hare to the extreme outside as they come over the rise. Durbridge still in front at the 200. Dane Win is about to go after him. All Our Mob on the inside is running a hell of a race, and here's Jearn coming out of the pack now, past the 150 mark. All Our Mob tackled by Dane Win and Jearn. Jearn headed Dane Win close to home. Jearn drawing away. Oh, he's a better horse at Randwick. Look at him go now. Jearn draws away to beat Dane Win. March Hare third. This All Our Mob, then Sky Watch, Pharaoh, Mapperley Star, and March Hare to the extreme outside as they come over the rise. Durbridge still in front at the 200. Dane Win is about to go after him. All Our Mob on the inside is running a hell of a race, and here's Jearn coming out of the pack now, past the 150 mark. All Our Mob tackled by Dane Win and Jearn. Jearn headed Dane Win close to home. Jearn drawing away. Oh, he's a better horse at Randwick. Look at him go now. Jearn draws away to beat Dane Win. March Hare third. This March Hare third, followed by All Our Mob, who ran a good race, and then Sky Watch from Mapperley Star. Vote.
2 good Jearn and a brilliant ride by Wayne Harris on Jearn to win the Queen Elizabeth Stakes.
Jearn for a moment in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. I think, Max, that yesterday, this along with the Rider Stakes has been the two class events during your carnival. We brought together some of the very best horses, and I guess the really intriguing factor was Dane Win and how he would go at weight for age against the...
With a set of circumstances that were made to order for him. There was going to be a lot of pace up front. The track had that sting out of it, and Jeune is a damn good horse, but he's not a great horse. He can't make his own circumstances. If you get the race...
Great, he's certainly the best around. He's had 11 runs at Group 1 level for 4 wins, 6 seconds, and the Cox Plate was his only unplaced run. He definitely clinched the Horse of the Year title yesterday.
Yes, I can't argue with that, Keith. Here as Dane Win seems to have every chance, goes up to the lead encouragingly, but when Jeune, who's been doing it very easily all the way, puts his claim in, Dane Win hasn't got an answer. Bobby Thompson, I feel, still is of the opinion that Jackie Che doesn't get the best out of Dane Win, but I couldn't criticise his performance yesterday.
But it'll be a great race. Number 2, Latin Quarter, showing $6.50. Pontalas is out to $9. Philu Treat, and she's come into $8.50 on the tote. I sold her, Shane Dye's mount, in from $4.80 to $4.70. Only the 5 runners. There's Octagonal. It'll be a battle of tactics.
Off and running in the Champagne, and Latin Quarter stayed in the gate, I think, shading off the straight. I sold the lead from Octagonal. 3 deepest Pontal Lash, Show of Force widest of all, and Latin Quarter's got a mile of room on the inside if he's good enough. Over the rise, I sold her still in front. Cooksley getting busy on Octagonal, and Pontal Lash and Show of Force further out, and the other one, Latin Quarter's, only a length and a half off the lead. I sold her being tackled in earnest by Octagonal. Octagonal coming at I sold her. Pontal Lash is still there. Octagonal's gutsy, so is I sold her. They're coming to the line absolutely locked together in a head bobber. Maybe I sold her, but gee, there's nothing in it. I sold her or Octagonal.
The lack of
nothing in it. I sold her or Octagonal in a head bobbing finish. Pontal Lass, and he ruined his prospects by 3rd. That was almost a carbon copy of the sire's produce. Show of Force 4th and Latin Quarter 5th.
Yeah, well, I reckon I sold her has won for sure. I think if she's won, I sold her. TAB number 5. She'll pay $4.60 the win and $2 the place. Tagonal.
Good filly, good colt. Max, she looks like she'll go right on now, I sold her, and I thought the ride of Dye was outstanding, didn't you?
I can't bag the Rider Dye, but have a look at this field. They're crawling along. They went their first 800 metres in field. They're crawling along. They went their first 800 metres in 53.6. You'd kick your hat and go faster. This was a farcically run race. The credit of Dye...
I'd like to argue in one way. I mean, some great weight for age racing over the years has been stop, start, slow tactics. We don't have to have a fast race to have a good race, do we?
I think to a degree you do have. I think a truly run...
Meanwhile, New Zealand's 2 Group 1 races for juveniles were conducted on very heavy tracks. In sharp contrast to the competitive nature of the 2-year-old scene in Australia, the New Zealand juveniles were one-act affairs.
She's 3.5 in front of Straight Clip. The stablemate goes after her. And then we have Captive D Talento ridden up by Zanstar, looking for a run wider out the Big Bopper, but has she got some on them? Turning in Ballroom Babe. Ballroom Babe straightens up in the size about 6 lengths in front. Straight Clip, then Captive. Further away is the Big Bopper, wider out Robin's Law, but Ballroom Babe is well clear in the sires. No problems this year for NG Harris, and Ballroom Babe is this a brilliant win. She's out by nearly 12 on Straight Clip and Captive. Wider out Robin's Law's getting home well, but the biggest win in the sires ever, I'd say. Ballroom Babe has absolutely waltzed in by the best part of 12 lengths.
Have you ever seen an easier win in a Group 1 race? At Ellerslie on April 15, we almost did.
At the 400, she's pulled out the class and she's hopped right away, Ballroom Babe. Out by 5-6 lengths now from My Modest Captive, then Kesson Power. In behind them, Mikolov and Skavinsky Skavar. But it's all over 200 metres to go in the Ford Dealer Team Ellerslie Size Produce Stakes. Shades of Awapuni coming up here. And it's Ballroom Babe, the City Dancer filly, been kept up by rider Gary Girl. She's well clear. And it's Ballroom Babe, 8 to 9 lengths. Mikolov rushed into second, My Modest third.
Ballroom Babe was purchased for just $4,250 New Zealand dollars as a yearling by trainer Graham Sanders. This brilliant filly is a member of the first crop of Ivan Allen's English racer, City Dancer. Now,
but C. Winnie put in the race of the day, coming from the back of the field to win the Foster's Cup at Doomben ahead of Hot to Race and Scalacci.
Look at C. Winnie, she's coming from nowhere. It's Hot to Race Scalacci. C. Winnie is rocketing down the outside. Will she get up? Oh, I don't know.
To Morfettville, but C. Winnie put in the race of the day, coming from the back of the field to win the Foster's Cup at Doomben ahead of Hot to Race and Scalacci.
look at See Winnie. She's coming from nowhere. It's Hot to Race Scalacci. See Winnie is rocketing down the outside. Will she get up? Oh, I don't know.
To Morfordville.
I think Scalacci was unlucky in this race yesterday, mainly because of the track, but let's not sit here and talk too much about Scalacci. Let's give credit to this mare, See Winnie, and her performance yesterday was just super. Because have a look at the start that she gives them coming down the side of the course, and in the straight she gets a brush from...
I think she's the best sprinter miling mare in Australia.
Well, I'll agree with that, Keith. There she is coming to the outside. Now, look at the brush that she gets from Yaradov here, just as she's starting her winning run. She was just taken off stride there for one stride, but here she is. She's still 4 lengths off the leader, and they've only got 100 metres to go. But have a look at the power of See Winnie at the end. She ran right over the top of them, and she got up to beat Hot to Race and Scalacci. It was a great performance by See Winnie. And just
one in terms of overall quality. But the Doomben 10,000 was a crackerjack lineup. Punters put their money behind the Doomben specialist, Chief De Beers, a winner of 8 races at the track. And he
updated market on the radio today. All our mob, and there's a lot of people here at Rose Hill would love to see this horse win. Down to See Winnie at 6.5, Ruslan at 8, Chief De Beers at 11-4, no change there.
The 700 metres mark, and it's Bulldog Yates and Neck Hot to Race. Racing third on the outside, then is Gold Cup, followed by All Our Mob Cohort. Chief De Beers is getting a lovely run. Further back is So Keen, followed by Jack's or Better, Legal Agent, Magic of Money, another Victor, and See Winnie. Heads a turn for home, and Dipman took off on Chief De Beers. He went up with All Our Mob to take the lead, followed by Bulldog Yates and Hot to Race, but Chief De Beers exploded away. He's got the race, one I'd say. He's 2.5 All Our Mob, then Cohort, So Keen next, and Bulldog Yates, but it's all Chief De Beers. He's annihilating them in the 10,000, and Chief De Beers went home to win brilliantly. All Our Mob is second, third Cohort, then came Gold Cup, See Winnie, So Keen, Ruslan, Dog Yates, followed by Pride.
Followed by My Red Sense, So Keen, and then Legal Agent and Ruslan, and See Winnie is giving them a mile start. In the straight now, 300 metres to go, and Mick said, let's go on the Chief, and he's raced away from them. Chief De Beers put a gap in them at the 200. He's 4 lengths in front. The 10,000 is all over. The Chief is streaking away from them. He's going to win easily. All Our Mob holding down second, then Cohort, but what a win. Chief De Beers by 4 lengths.
This was a truly explosive performance that ranks second only to Hariba's victory in the Australia Stakes as the most dominating Group 1 victory of the season.
Him right up there on top, Bruce, and I think I've called about 15 Doomben 10,000s now, but his win yesterday was just spectacular, and of course being a Queenslander added a little bit more to it. At the 250 metre point, he's gone about 3 in front of All Our Mob. Cohort running up into third place. See Winnie and Gold Cup on the outside making ground, but this is the easiest win we've ever seen in a Doomben 10,000. It's the fastest time-wise since the metrics were introduced, and bear in mind it was run on...
Winning 8 races and never being unplaced in 16 starts. A magical...
The Gold Coast, the Hollandale Handicap featured Rough Habit, Brave Warrior and Shane Dye aboard Danewin, making up for unlucky seconds in big derby races and the Guineas.
Brave Warrior inch by inch is trying to pick him up, but Danewin's going strongly. He's got Brave Warrior beaten, and Danewin in the one of the posts has gone home to win well.
Would have really tested Danewin, but that was the luck of the race. Danewin too good for Brave Warrior in the run to the line, and both will clash in the Doomben Cup at Doomben next Saturday, and that is lining up to be a real beauty with...
There. The $300,000 Doomben Cup at Weight for Age, Rough Habit is showing at $8. Air Seattle at $21, at $11. Danewin, that great 3-year-old, $3. Brave Warrior 7, Ivory's Irish $11. Can Rough Habit win his 4th successive Doomben Cup? Here's Alan Thomas to call the action.
More than as they go past the 1,000 metres mark. The 2 3-year-olds in front. Danewin a half the Brave Warrior, and there goes Rough Habit. Elliott's decided to go, and the pensioner Rough Habit went up to join Danewin and heading past the 800, and the pressure's on. Brave Warrior third from Dennis Singer, then a presser. Arborea might have the last run at these leaders. She's gone up outside Taradu, about 2.5 to Shaskay, then Air Seattle voting Pratara's Bay, Ivory's Irish, and Belmarissa's tailed right off. On the bend, about 500 to run. Danewin and Rough Habit come to the corner together. Brave Warrior 3 deep from Dennis Singer. Arborea's perched right on their heels as they turn the corner, followed by a presser and Taradu and Ivory's Irish. Into the straight, Danewin and Rough Habit led together. Brave Warrior on the outside, and Arborea's going to come and have the last rash at them. Dennis Singer going for the run on the fence, then Ivory's Irish. Danewin in front, 100 to go. He's a link, Dennis Singer. Taradu's getting out of the pack. Danewin and Dennis Singer from Tarradoo. Dane Win's just in front. Dye's throwing everything at him. He's home in the cup, Dane Win. Dane Win went home to beat Dennis Singer and Tarradoo from Arboraya. Then Protara's Bay Ivory's Irish Brave Warrior. They're followed by Shaskay, Rough Habit a long way back.
This was the third Group 1 win for the season.
Win first, Dennis Singer I think second.
This was the third Group 1 win for the season for Dane Win, who had earlier...
Big advantage.
Yes, and he's won 10 from 21 and today went over the $1 million in prize money, defeating the...
Give a compliment.
Sensational, and the biggest thrill came late in the day when Rough Habit Bruce yesterday won his 29th race. He did it with 58 kilos. He did it from an outside alley, and the crowd loved it. Now, this is the horse that's obviously
celebrating, I'll tell you that.
Your best ever, Wayne. Here we go.
Darcher's next on the outside of Consoldo Show. Darcher outside of Kikamuka, NASA Rich, and then Air Seattle and Cross Swords. Protara's Bay giving the leaders quite a start. Then Desert Chill on the inside of NASA Rose. Then Rough Habit Sapio. Well back in the field is Dark Czar, and then Spiritual Star and Military Supreme. Heading for the judge now, 400 metres out. Oppressor has moved up on the outside of Fewer Chosen. Stay Tuned is a length and a half away third. Then Pindy and Waikikamuka. And Rough Habit is coming through the field. They've got 200 metres to go. Oppressor is the leader. Here he comes. Here comes Rough Habit, the old Kiwi warhorse. You little beauty. Keep him going, Shane. Rough Habit is racing away to win the O'Shea Stakes. What a win. Rough Habit first. Second, Oppressor, and third, Desert Chill. Then Dark Czar, and then Spiritual Star and Military Supreme. Heading for the judge now, 400 metres out. Oppressor has moved up on the outside of Fewer Chosen. Stay Tuned is a length and a half away third. Then Pindy and Waikikamuka. And Rough Habit is coming through the field. They've got 200 metres to go. Oppressor is the leader. Here he comes. Here comes Rough Habit, the old Kiwi warhorse. You little beauty. Keep him going, Shane. Rough Habit is racing away to win the O'Shea Stakes. What a win. Rough Habit first. Second, Oppressor, and third, Desert Chill. Then Protara's Bay.
Well,
started to roar at the 200-metre point. You could just feel Eagle Farm starting to lift from the ground, and it was one of the most exciting moments I've experienced in race calling.
I can tell you, Wayne, that...
Brisbane's major sprint is the Stradbroke Handicap, run on the Saturday of the Queen's Birthday weekend in June. Like the Doomben 10,000, this year's Stradbroke was a high-quality affair. And once again, Chief De Beers was the centre of a substantial betting plunge.
Carptingly starting to go forward. All our mobbers drop back and he's under pressure. Ferragamo pulled to the outside, and then Matsky in the straight. Just Awesome is the leader. Scalacci second. Mick is winding up the Chief on the outside. He's after them. Sublimate behind them on the rails. Then Ruslan, and Carptingly's coming with a great run. Chief De Beers hit the lead. Scalacci's going with him. Ruslan joining in on the outside. Scalacci's in front. Ruslan diving at him the last little bit. Ruslan went to Scalacci and beat him. Ruslan first, Scalacci second, I think. Carptingly maybe third.
Trainer John...
10 News. It's one of the really big ones, I reckon, in Australian racing, this.
Oh, no doubt, and won yesterday in course record time, and Scalacci for Shane Scriven almost did what he did last week on Rough Habit, almost pulled off a fairy tale result. One of the great races of, well, certainly the winter for the year.
10 News. It's one of the really big ones, I reckon, in Australian racing, this.
Oh, no doubt, and won yesterday in course record time, and Scalacci for Shane Scriven almost did what he did last week on Rough Habit, almost pulled off a fairy tale result. One of the great races of, well, certainly the winter